Well, good morning, everybody. I know what you're saying. Is there anything exciting happening this morning in terms of an announcer? Well, listen to this. Listen to your announcer.
I'm George Takei.
See?
And during this time of crisis, I'm reminded of the Japanese phrase gaman, which means to endure with fortitude and dignity. And to that I add hitonomi en, which means I proudly swallow. You're listening to the Howard Stern Show.
And he does. Thank you, George.
Wow.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you all. My first visit with you all this year, the year 2011.
Is that right?
It is. This is the first time. It's been 4 months since I last saw you all.
You know, it's just been too long, my friend.
Much
I've missed
too long.
him. Yes, I was wondering when you were going to get back in here.
Live long and prosper.
I am living long and prospering and getting up every morning at 4 a.m. for you all.
Doing any... by the way, George turned 70...
Not yet.
When are you turning?
On April the 20th, I turned 74.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
You're in great shape. I saw you this morning in the hallway, and I said, man, this guy looks healthy and fit. I mean, you look good.
Well, I believe in the law of nature, and, I'm a law-abiding guy. I just go by what
But it
the
does
law
make you
is.
angry that you take such incredible care of yourself. I mean...
What is it? Why would it make him angry?
It's not
because
incredible.
his partner, Brad, is not thin.
Oh, that part. Well, I try to restrain myself because I was scolded by you last year.
No, but between us, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
When one person works so hard on their physique, I mean, you do. I mean, it ain't easy staying thin. I'm sure you watch what you eat. I'm sure you work out, and you do all of that.
I do all that.
You can.
Does Brad just lie around? Does he
Yeah.
not try?
Well, he
He
used
doesn't.
to be fantastic looking. I mean, he was
Yes.
an outstanding marathoner. But now, when I'm doing my exercises in the morning, at least he walks with me in the morning.
He will walk.
He will walk. But he just is there at his computer while I'm doing my
And
sit-ups and push-ups.
doesn't that irritate you? I mean, you're doing sit-ups and push-ups, and he's like just sitting there at the computer. And you know something? I'm going to tell you. Beth and I work out together. We go for runs and stuff
That's
like that.
fantastic. I really admire that.
And I like that because, like she even says, I would have a hard time, she said, with you if you didn't take care of yourself, and I think vice versa. As much as I want to say it shouldn't be a big deal, but it is. I mean, you do want someone to be reasonably fit, right?
Exactly. And it isn't really that hard. It becomes part of your daily routine,
Well,
like
what
brushing
happened?
your teeth.
Brad was a marathoner.
Yep.
And what happened? He one day just quit?
He used to be a journalist, economics journalist, and that was a high-pressure job. And he smoked back then, too.
Oh.
And, so he had all his bad habits from the journalistic world. And it eventually caught up with him. He became my manager, and he didn't have to have those pressures of...
So when you guys are naked and you see him, he's pudgy, and you want to see him ripped,
Exactly.
at least thin.
I use a lot of imagination when I
Right. Do you turn off the lights? Do you put the lights down low?
No, because I'm a visual as well as tactile guy.
Yeah, but do you ever go like, you know what, okay, Brad's a heavy guy, so what I'll do is I'll turn the lights down low, or maybe what I could do is just stare at a certain part of him so that I don't see how fat he is.
Well, I try to, re-wrestle, as you know.
Right.
Yes.
And I search for the musculature.
You look
Did I
right
say it right? Musculature?
Yeah.
When you say you search for the musculature, what does that involve? In other words, what do you do? I mean, what do you mean you search for
Squeezing him real tight.
To feel the
Musculature.
muscles, to get through the fat to the muscle?
Right.
Oh, dear.
Hey, poor you.
Musculature. No, that's a good exercise.
How long did he stay good for? After, like, you were in a committed relationship
We were
with him?
together for about, it's gradual, but I noticed it's getting a little bit pudgier after about 10 years.
After 10 years. That's usually, that's when it happens.
And how long have they been together now?
Oh.
We've been together 24 years now. Next year will be our silver anniversary.
Wow.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, would you I know at this point in your life, I guess you couldn't imagine, but do you think you'd ever leave Brad because he's so out of shape?
No.
Do you think you're ever tempted to cheat?
I've been tempted many times.
Right.
But, when you really love someone, you think of hurting him.
Yeah, and don't you think that, like, I bet you when you go to, like, a Star Trek convention or something, and there's some, good-looking gay dude there, I bet you, like, in a way, they would love to get you in bed because, you're the prize over at those Star Trek conventions. Is that what you mostly get?
Trophy star.
Is that where you get, is that where you get proposition mostly on those cruises?
No, not just there. There are
and these guys
innuendos handed to me
and these guys
in
are
bars.
young. And these guys are young.
They're young.
Yeah.
What is the line? What do they say?
Hi, sugar tits. Oh, sugar tits. You are mine. You know what it is, though? I mean, they see you. You're an older guy. You're successful. They're looking for a sugar daddy. And you're in good shape.
Well, that's always in the back of my mind, the sugar daddy part.
Well, like I always say, there's nothing sadder than an old queen.
Exactly.
But, you don't play that part of old queen. I mean, you're spry, you know what I mean? These guys could get into it.
But I want to know, like, what are the innuendos? What is the little thing they drop?
A load.
Tactile little things,
Like they touch you.
Yes.
Ah.
And, the juices start happening.
A lingering hand.
The electricity flows. What are you doing in these bars alone anyway?
No, we're together there.
Right.
But, some of these guys are pretty...
Forward.
Cheeky.
And they'll do it right in front of Brad.
No, not right in front.
Oh, he waits till he...
We're not like attached at the navels.
I see.
We roam around, and it's when
No one respects your marriage. It's terrible.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah.
We defend. They call it in defense of marriage, that law.
Yes.
Well, we defend our marriage, and those people that are so-called married, they need to start defending theirs and not poking their nose
Never mind
into
that.
others.
Do you constantly say to the guys in the bar and stuff when they hit on you? Do you say are you constantly saying, I can't, I'm married? Like, do you find yourself saying that?
It's not constant. You're creating an image where I'm being constantly promised.
He's barraged.
But when it has happened, do you just say, look, I'm married and I can't mess around with you?
I show them my Navajo ring.
Right. Look at my
Navajo. Brad's from Arizona, so that's why we got this Navajo artisan to design our ring.
Right.
Are they ever so bold as, like, to follow you to the men's room or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Squeeze
Wow.
that big penis. Wow. Well...
You do have to defend your marriage.
Let me tell you all, I am now working on a Nickelodeon show.
Yes.
It's called Super Ninjas. It's aimed at teenage males.
Oh, boy.
Perfect.
A whole new generation of fans.
Right.
And so this discussion we just had is all... Oh, well, we're on Sirius, aren't we?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, that's the point. I mean, that's what's so beautiful about Sirius.
Isn't it wonderful?
You can have an X-rated conversation and know that these young boys, these impressionable boys, aren't listening to it. I mean, their parents have control over
That's
who can,
right.
It's a pay service.
But ninjas are everywhere.
Yeah. So how's that going? How's the career going?
It's. I'm having a lot of fun.
You do any Star Trek cruises recently?
No, because I've been working on this series since January.
How's the bed bug situation? Did you straighten it out?
Well, we arrived last night, and we slept in that bed, and I think the Beagle did its job.
Yeah, good.
I'm not scratching at all.
Excellent.
No bites.
Thank God.
So you've had to check that again by the dogs and everything?
No. Not. We haven't had it checked out. I just am not scratching.
Good. Okay. So that's good. Maybe you killed off all your bed bugs. Also, a lot of people, I was kind of following this when Gilbert Gottfried made his comments about Japan. I know on Twitter you followed. Are you actually tweeting yourself, or is someone helping you with it? I mean, I know they're your thoughts, but do you actually physically take the phone and start to tweet?
No. I stockpile a lot of them. The timely, topical ones I do immediately.
I have a feeling, now this is just my feeling from reading you, I think Brad is doing some of the tweeting.
Well, no, the content I put together.
Right. Some of it
And-
doesn't feel, if I can be honest.
Yes.
Some of it doesn't feel like it's your words. It feels more like Brad's words. Am I getting warm on
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay.
You are.
That's what I thought. Some
Yeah.
of it is not George Takei.
No, 99%.
I knew it. I fucking
write.
knew it.
What is Brad write?
Because when you read George's tweets,
Uh-huh.
I can't even give you an example because I don't sit and memorize these tweets. But sometimes I just know it's not George.
Okay.
I just
What
know.
is it that you smell?
I smell Brad and his balls. I mean, I smell Brad, and I knew
You have good nostrils, I must say.
I wasn't the only one to point this out. Other people
really?
have said to me, we think some of these comments are Brad's comments, not George's. But I mean, because we know you, we know you
yeah.
from being on the show now, and we can smell out a rat, so to speak.
No, he's a mouse.
I heard I was getting yelled at on Twitter. I didn't tweet all weekend. I kind of forgot about it, honestly. I just was busy and not doing my thing. But I'll tell you, I don't know if you get this, George, but then when I go on there, I say, okay, well, since I haven't been on in a while, I'll tweet 5 or 6 or 7 things.
Yeah, right.
And I get yelled at for tweeting too much.
Oh, no,
I got
no.
yelled at yesterday, yeah. because I was
Stockpile them
tweeting.
and dole them out in little dribs and drabs so that there's some consistency.
Yeah, but I actually just go on and
Yeah, spontaneously.
I'll
Yeah,
answer
well-
the fans' questions and things like that because I think it's kind of fun. But as soon as I do 7 in a row or 6 in a row, I begin to get yelled at. And
Don't
then
do them
and then
all
I
in a
leave.
row.
I see.
Just
Why is that?
well, that way you cover more span of time.
But people want. I don't
But it's
understand.
also
it.
immediate and it's a conversation
Well,
that
right,
way.
that's
yeah,
what I
there are
thought.
topical ones that you have to do immediately. Like
Well,
when the calamities, series of
Right.
calamities happened in Japan.
Were
You
you-
want to
so-
keep on top of that.
So were you mad at Gilbert for all his Japanese? They seemed
We all know Gilbert, don't
Right,
we?
yeah.
I mean, that's a shtick, and that's Gilbert,
right.
Yeah,
I thought it was
sometimes-
ludicrous that he got fired from his job with Affleck, considering the fact that when they hired him, he's been doing all that shit all along.
But you know what? Affleck, a good percentage of Affleck's
75% of their business is in Japan. But so, I mean, they hired this guy knowing he's a lunatic.
Yeah.
And that he does really filthy material. I mean, ridiculous. He uses
Right.
the N-word.
Right.
With the Jews.
He's always offensive.
That's a shtick.
Right. So, and all of a sudden to say, well, over the Japanese tsunami and earthquake, we'll fire this
One
guy.
thing, I keep hearing tsunami, but do you see it printed? There's a T in front.
Tsunami.
It drives me up the wall.
You
every
want us
time
to
I
say
hear it.
tsunami?
Well, that's the word.
Now, let's hear you
And
say it.
there are some
That's what's
journalists
driving
that are
you
saying
crazy?
tsunami.
Yeah.
Tsunami. That's the way it's supposed
Let
to
me
be.
hear you say it. Say it again.
Tsunami.
Tsunami.
Yeah, there's a T
Tsunami.
there. And I keep hearing,
Is that the
journalists say-
tragedy for you that people are not saying tsunami?
Well, that's a minor one,
I-
but it
Sure.
drives me up the wall when I hear tsunami.
Hey, by the way, I do want to wish Richard Christie a happy birthday. It was his birthday on Friday.
Oh,
Happy
I missed
birthday.
I heard, were you invited to Richard Christie's wedding?
We have been.
Are you going?
We are going to be able to because we're doing a workshop of allegiance at exactly that time. So it worked out wonderfully.
Someone told me Richard was going to ask you to marry him.
Oh,
Did
he
you hear
hasn't?
that?
No.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
To officiate?
That was the buzz that I heard around here.
I have not heard that buzz.
Yeah.
Would you do that?
No.
I'd be happy to if
You're not ordained, right? You'd have to go out
I'm
and
a
get
Buddhist. If he wants a Buddhist ceremony.
Richard, why do you have to bother George with? I notice a lot of people.
I hadn't heard this.
Bother. Yeah, I got to tell you something. A lot of people around here bother the guests. Like I heard a rumor that George was nudged by Steve Langford that his daughter is going to interview George for a school project.
Oh, she did.
Well, I love Steve. Don't get me wrong, but around here, can we just leave the fucking guests alone? I mean, honestly, George isn't going to be able to say no because he thinks it's going to affect his relationship with me.
But it's I don't feel like I'm a guest. I feel like I'm a member of the family.
Well, you are a
and-
guest. I hate to tell you, you're not a member of the
Oh,
family.
I'm shattered. Absolutely
You
shattered.
can't be a member of this family.
No, but I mean, I
I feel so isolated now.
No, I just don't want the guests being nudged. I mean, I think
Thank
it's
you.
really sweet that Steve Langford's daughter has a school project. But you want to know something? George isn't here for that, and he's not going to say no because Steve spent a week with George going back to his old haunts and doing a whole special with him.
Right.
So George feels
Not
like...
my old Hans.
Well, you're
we
all-
were imprisoned there.
Well, that's a haunt. That's haunting. Yeah, they went. You know, they did a whole Japanese
Right.
internment special and all of that.
no, they're not Japanese internment camps.
Oh,
they're U.S. internment camps for Japanese
Okay.
Americans.
Well, you know what I'm trying
Well,
to get
you know,
out
when
there.
you say Japanese internment camp, you'd think the nation of Japan.
George, what I'm trying to
interned us.
say is, you know, Steve did this whole special with you
Yes.
and spent a week with you.
Yes.
And what happens is on what fucking basis would Steve Langford bother this man?
Well, many
You wanna know
journalists
something?
asked me to do that.
I don't care. The guys who work for me should
No, he's not talking about you doing the special.
I'm talking about the daughter bothering.
Oh.
Listen, you're a sweet man.
I do that for a lot of people.
No, I
though.
know you do, but you don't have to do that here.
All right,
and I don't
thank
want
you.
you bothered and asked. You know, listen, I've got 3 daughters. I don't ask George Takei or any guest to sit there and do an interview with my daughters. My daughters are grown women now.
But they went to school and they had projects.
I would feel as if I was putting someone out. Sometimes I think just having George get up and doing our show is putting him out. So I would not ever think about doing this to this human being. And
Well,
I
what
don't know
about
why
the
people
fact-
like Steve doesn't know that.
they have gone out to dinner, from what I
I don't
understand.
care.
We have.
I don't care.
So you don't consider that now their personal relationship?
Listen, the only reason Steve knows George Takei is because of our show. And asking George to sit down with your daughter for a school project, you know what? Let his daughter go out and find somebody of interest in the community. She doesn't need to be a superstar and interview a guy from Star Trek. Now, give me a fucking break. I mean, it's ridiculous. And the reason that George is giggling is because he agrees. And
But
he's too
what
kind
about
to say it.
Richard? Richard and George also socialize.
Well, that's what I mean.
yeah.
Well, this was going to be something we were going to ask George over dinner, but Will, I guess, spilled the beans
Yeah,
about it.
that's right.
But it's,
Oh,
there's
really?
there's zero pressure. If
No,
we would be
you don't
honored.
understand. There's zero pressure for you. For him, there's pressure because he has to sit there and go,
Well,
look,
you know, I feel comfortable with Richard to say I won't be able to do it because
Good.
I'm here for a workshop and I'll be working on that all during, the 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
Okay,
that's
good.
that's
Yeah,
totally
good.
fine.
He shouldn't have to answer you. Do you understand?
Why did you want George to do the wedding
Just because we're
ceremony?
Because
very
it's fun.
well, yeah, it's fun, and
Listen,
and he's got
listen.
a great voice, and we're very good
No,
friends
I
with him.
know, I know. It's all fun and games. Get a friend of yours.
You
tonight.
had somebody fun at
That's
your
right.
wedding.
That's right.
Mark
and that's
Consuelos
exactly
did.
and that's what's going on here. Mark Consuelos married us, and I know you want the same thing. But listen, calm down. The reason you know this man is because of the show. Okay?
But
Don't sit there and go in your hillbilly way. Howard Deedy. Now I can do it.
But I owe a little bit
Get
of.
that conehead in Cambria to marry you. Your favorite,
Conehead.
or whatever his fucking name is. What is it? Conehead in Cambria.
Coheed and Cambria.
Coalheed in Cambria. Get them to marry you. Yeah.
Maybe we will.
Yeah.
But I, in sort of a way, George is here because of me too. I remember I pitched him at a
I know,
meeting,
and you're only here because I'm insane. Okay, so just remember that.
and I thank you for having
All
me.
right, now get out of here
All right.
and leave everyone alone.
Okay.
All right, good. And go back and make phony phone calls. I haven't seen any new ones in a while. I want to see 3 a day.
We got a brand new one that you loved that you only played once.
It's true,
Yeah.
but that was last.
And
week.
we got a new one we're editing for this
All
week
right,
too.
now
Should
you're
have
talking.
it by tomorrow.
Quickly
Okay.
go at it. You're wasting time. Just busy plotting that wedding ad.
Oh, I didn't know that there was such a plot about to be hatched.
Well, I heard that you're getting. You see what I mean? Richard asked for the wedding. Steve
Steve
Langford's
asked for his
daughter. I mean,
daughter.
Steve is a nut to think that that this is an appropriate request.
When did he ask? Did he ask?
Where is he? Is
What?
he here?
Quite some time ago.
Where is Steve Langford? I want to
Was
yell
it
at him.
during the special or?
No, it was, about, I think he talked to Brad about a month ago.
You know, sometimes it's really great to let your kid go find someone on their own. That's sort of the project. Daddy doesn't have to step in and prove what a big superstar he is,
Yeah.
delivering the guy from Star Trek. It's fucking annoying.
So he actually called Brad and made the request.
Right.
Wow.
It was scheduled.
Hello, this is Steve Langford from Howard 100 News. Brad, I know this is a terrible imposition, but, my son, my daughter...
I was happy to... I get a lot of those requests from
I get
friends.
it. I get it. And you know what? They should leave you the fuck alone.
Yeah, well...
You know what? My email is filled with requests for everything from all my friends, my so-called friends.
Right. And you don't honor them.
A lot of them I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even respond. I can't respond to all
I get
the
a lot of
requests.
those, from total strangers over the internet.
And unfortunately, you've met the people here.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I know because of my relationship, suddenly George is on the phone with Steve Langford's daughter. And don't think I don't know that. And I don't know why more people around here don't know that. It's just inappropriate. But what can I tell you? Steve's not here?
I'm a nice guy,
Yeah, you're too nice. And I am too.
What?
Oh, he's on his way down. I know I'm going to get worked up. Keep me calm, Robin.
All right.
And you know how to
try.
do. And you know how to do it.
I think George
I
would be really good at keeping you calm.
Better you keep me calm.
Actually, I like to touch. I am tactile.
You know how you were telling me how you banged women and also men, and it's like I was reading the New York Times yesterday. There was an interview with a woman who she was with a woman a long-term relationship, 2 women. All of a sudden they break up. She decided to date guys, and now she's married to a man after a 15-year relationship with a woman. There's truly I used to think there's no such thing as bisexuality. Now I'm starting to think there is.
I think there is. I mean, the human animal has a lot of senses. And
Do you consider yourself bisexual?
I was, but now
You're gay.
I think I'm monosexual.
Yeah.
Just one sex. Brad.
Brad, you're Brad sexual.
Yeah. We've shared so much in common. We've been together for 24 years, and that I value that.
Right.
It's something that's very precious to me.
But the thought of screwing a woman right now is kind of nauseating.
Or
right?
any other person.
Yeah. Where is my...
This, I think, is in and of itself a news story.
Yeah.
Langford will not come back.
Why?
You're kidding.
He refuses to come back.
Why?
He says this topic is off limits.
Why? Why is it off
I think because
limits?
it involves his kids. He said, your kids are off limits.
Wait
not
a
about
second.
his
I'm not talking
child.
about his kid. I'm talking about him. I'm talking about him arranging for an interview with a guest of mine.
I was surprised. He gave me the hand. I'm like, Steve, you of all people? And he goes, this is
knows.
different.
Steve, this is not different. This is not talking about his daughter. I'm not talking about his daughter. I'm
You're
talking about
him making the request.
Right.
But I just went directly. He's sitting in his chair, and he's not coming in.
Interesting.
He's got to come in eventually because he's got to do the news.
Yeah, send him in for headlines.
And George is here all week, so even if he's not coming in
You see,
today.
that logic, hiding behind the fact that he did it for his daughter and then saying, I'm not going to talk about my daughter, where I'm not talking about his daughter, is ludicrous. He's hiding because he doesn't want to hear my opinion on this. If he wants to be mature about it.
He did say point well taken. That's what he told me.
Oh, he did. Okay, so he gets it.
I think.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be better to hear him say point well taken?
Yes.
Yes.
He can't come in and do that.
Point well taken. He should not be bothering. I don't care.
I feel
substitute the
awkward.
word daughter for wife or whatever. I don't care who it is. Cousin.
Neighbor.
Here I am in the middle
friend.
of all this, and it was a pleasure. I mean, he's got a charming little girl.
All right, you can. Okay, you're missing the point too.
No, I got it.
I'm
I
not sure
got it.
you're all there.
I'm just trying to defend.
It's 2 people who aren't all there.
I think it's really funny that Steve Langford won't talk about this.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody has said to him, Steve, I don't want to talk about something, we have to do the news.
This is a news
We
story.
have to do the news.
Howard, you should glare at him like he does to us when he.
Right? Yeah, you just stare at him. You're so right.
Howard, he'll be in a half an hour to do the news.
Did you? I know, and that's what I'll ask him about. I will confront him.
Don't ask, just glare.
Glare.
I'm sure you heard Howard's comments
Yes,
just now.
absolutely.
Where do you stand? What's your defense in
Well,
this?
as I said to Gary just a moment ago, point well taken. Fine. Done deal. However, discussing people's daughters, young daughters, on the air, I don't think so.
But I don't think the issue is more so about your daughter or young daughter as
Well,
it is.
that's what got raised. and
Well, I think it's the
that's not gonna-
subject of asking
What's
George a
good
favor.
for the goose is good for the gander.
But it's just the concept of asking George a favor. I think Howard was more
Absolutely.
pointing to.
Point well taken.
Do you think? So you think he's right? You think that
No, I don't
perhaps
think he's right, but if that's the way he wants to do it, that's fine.
But why not come back and discuss that subject? Not so much.
Because there's a hypocrisy here about certain things that are off limits.
So are you saying certain things are off limits for Howard, but
Yes,
but
absolutely.
now that the tables have turned and it's your turn to go in,
Yeah.
so you basically more so have a problem with Howard would be unwilling to discuss something like this.
We would never, in a million years, raise those kind of subjects.
So are you worried that this might hurt your credibility this week? Do you think you might have a tough time with interviews, that people are going to now say, Steve, no, I won't talk, you didn't talk?
If you want to talk about somebody's young kids, we certainly don't cover that.
Okay, sir. I see you are unwavering on your stance.
No, listen, that's the way he wants to do it. It's fine. I understand. Absolutely.
But the same rules apply to you as well. Level playing field. It's the American way. Richard, is it frustrating or disappointing to you when Howard criticizes you using the show, so to speak?
No, I'm used to it by now. I'm used to the criticism. I've been here almost 7 years. It goes with the territory.
So why did you still decide to ask George, or why are you still planning?
Well, we
on
weren't even for sure that's just somebody we had in mind that'd be, a great person to do it, because we're not doing a religious wedding, and we probably just have one of our friends do it. So I guess next in line will be Lisa or Greg Carmel, the cameraman.
I'm excellent. I'm actually ordained online, so.
I am too. I'm a Dudist priest. I'm ordained at the Church of Lebowski, and I can actually marry people. So, Sal and I are available to marry people now.
You abide?
The dude abides. We'll abide your wedding.
Good luck with that. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
All right. Any apprehension from your part in seeing, one of your best buddies get married? You don't seem to be too high on the subject of marriage and the concept of marriage these days.
Listen. Everybody's different. It's all peaks and valleys. That's the way marriage works. He's getting married. Right now, he's in that mode of peaches and cream. Everything's going to be fantastic. And you know what? I hope it stays that way for the rest of his life.
But do you see your friend headed towards a multi-car pileup right now?
Listen, if somebody's going to jump, you can only get so many cops to say don't do it. They're going to jump. That's it. I just hope that when he lands, it's going to be on something nice, soft, and cuddly for the rest of his life. I'm very happy for him, and I think Kristen's a phenomenal girl. So, and to me, Richard's already married. He's married to me. He's my wife. He's the wife I always wanted. So, I look at his marriage almost like as a roommate, and I'm the real husband, and he's my real wife.
She's just going to keep him warm at night. That's
As
it.
long as she makes him happy, and I know she will, because she's a great girl, and he'll make her happy.
You just know that every morning around 5 he returns to you.
Absolutely. He gets all cleaned up, relieved, whatever he needs to do is done, and he comes to me fresh, squeaky clean, and ready to roll. Smelling like a rose. Dipped in dog shit.
I tried on April Fool's, Robin. You thwarted me. But I tried on April Fool's to start an April Fool's joke where I was replacing Charlie Sheen on 2.5 Men. It lasted all of 10 seconds. As Robin goes, oh, this is April Fool's.
Fred should have told.
Fred said to me over the weekend, he said, it would have been better if you had like Steve Langford come in and report that he heard a rumor about it.
Right,
and then I could have been somewhat
Would have
coy.
thrown everybody off track.
Meanwhile, how good an idea is that? I'd be terrific. If I do say so myself. I'm not taking over.
The thing is, people can't believe it because you're so needed here.
Yeah, believe me, I got news for you. I ain't doing anything. I do this show and I do Howard TV. God bless, and that's that.
Well, that's why I said it was a joke.
Yeah, people know that.
I told Robin I read a script that was pretty good, and they offered me this movie role, and I like doing that.
Oh, you should have.
No, I'm not going to do it. I've been thinking about it. I
You
don't want
should
to
do a movie.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Why?
Because, you know what? I'm not an actor. I do enjoy the process of being in a movie, but
Well, you bring your personality. Most movie stars are that.
I don't know that I could do this role either because it involves me like getting into some not pornographic, but like a heavy sort of make-out petting scenes with this chick who's obviously a hot chick. It's a movie and she plays a hot chick. And I'm just wondering, I think Beth would freak the fuck out.
Did you discuss
She
it
has
with her
to
at
know.
all?
Yeah, I discussed it with her. She goes, all
what'd
right.
she say?
She goes, I know what I got to do. And that was that. I mean, I said, but honey, it's
You're
a movie.
acting. You're acting.
She knows me. I ain't no acting.
There's no acting when you're
Yeah.
kissing somebody. That's
she
a real
knows me.
kiss.
When I kiss, I got news for you. I don't know about. I mean, I don't know what in some of your movies. I don't know if you did anything romantic. Did you ever do a romantic scene in a movie?
I've kissed on screen. Yes.
Yeah, but those were girls. Do you ever kiss a dude in a movie? And I'll
Where
bet
you'd
you
really
what.
get
I
excited.
bet you if I were given that opportunity, I'd do it, and Brad would probably understand.
And yeah, he might understand, but you get a boner, you probably end up in the dressing room with this guy blowing you. Something.
No, I wouldn't do
Yeah,
that.
bullshit.
I would not do that.
You know what? Sometimes things
I
happen.
am an actor.
Yeah.
You've
I
never
can create
been,
the illusion.
George, you've never actually had this happen to you.
That's right.
So how do you really know
All
how
I know
you would
is
react?
on Private Parts, I did a couple of scenes with Mary McCormick where there was no kissing involved in
Yeah.
the script, no making out, no feeling up. I made out with her and felt her up anyway.
Every time?
Every time.
And you can see the
On
surprise
screen.
on,
On
her
screen.
face.
On screen.
Yeah, you could see the look.
You're an actor. You were acting.
I was like, fuck that. I got a chance here to do something with a hot chick. Why not? Why shouldn't I do it?
Absolutely.
And I popped a real boner when I was in the bathtub with that naked girl, Melanie Good.
Yeah.
I popped an actual fucking boner.
Of course you would.
Yeah. So what am I going to tell you? I was all worked up.
But
So if he'd been kissing her,
But your
and
soul
he was in
wasn't
his
there.
underwear,
Well, my soul was there. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. I'm an actor, but my penis is an actor.
your penis is a realist.
My penis is for real. My penis don't know I'm acting. No, I better left not doing it. You want to know something? The truth. I love that woman so much that I could do the movie and not think twice about it. But I don't know. She would probably freak out because you know what? I got news for you. If she took on a role something where she's making out with some dude, it would bother the shit out of me.
And you know, you're not just kissing them once.
You know,
Right.
There's take after take
Yeah.
and setups and reshoots.
and that's why it's not sexy.
Please.
You know what? On tomorrow's
with
show,
about 30 people
Bullshit.
watching you.
Tomorrow's show, I'm bringing in this guy. He's 25 years old.
Yeah.
He's going to do a love scene with you. You're both going to have your shirts off.
a bed.
It's a script. I'm going to give you the script. You'll read it. And then it'll cause for you both to take off your shirts. He's very muscular, this guy I have in mind for the part. And you're going to rub each other's chests and make out.
I will tell Brad tonight,
Right.
and I will tell him I'm
Tell him.
acting, and it will not be consummated.
Yeah.
I am going to be acting, and
Yeah.
yes, all right, bring it on.
And then he's gonna
Bring
cut
him
his
on.
dick off. Anyway, it's going to be a great movie. It's George. It starts out, George is in an internment camp. But it's like Animal House. It's a fun internment camp, like Hogan's Heroes kind of thing.
Well, they're breaking out. It's like that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's World War II.
Break out together.
George is in Arizona. The guards love him, and one of the guards falls in love with George.
And it's hot there, so we take our shirts off. And
That's right.
It's sweaty.
And
Yes.
then you have to
know
wrestle.
what we have to do? We have to put a meter on George to see if he's acting or if this is real.
Well, as Howard said, you know, I can be acting, but there's certain anatomical things
sure.
that don't know that.
And Brad will tell you he's acting when he's on the phone to his attorney. Anyway, so Charlie Sheen.
Can I bring? I was going to say Artie, Brad here.
Yes.
And have him be witness to it.
That's right. I want him to watch.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's great. In this one scene I want you to do, this is where you blow the guard to get a weekend pass from the camp. And you have to
I'm
really...
afraid he will not allow that.
No, he won't. The guy won't come. It just, just kiss it a few times. And then the guard goes, "Oh, you think you can blow me and get a secret pass? That's it for you." Then he ties you up naked and he sticks an eel in your ass.
This is the Howard Stern Show.
By the way, these two characters who haven't cracked a smile since they've been in here, they won the right to sit in and watch our show. They gave money to charity. You guys there?
Yes, sir.
I got to tell you something. You two are the two worst guys I've ever had sit in this studio watch me. Ever since you walked in, I've been waving to you. I've been smiling at you. And the two fucking guys stand there like you're FBI. What do you guys do for a living that you're so goddamn serious? What are you? Seriously, what?
I'm a contractor. I build houses.
Well, what are you so miserable about?
I'm not miserable.
You know, I'm a performer. When we see guys like you staring at us, you gotta get into it a little bit. What's the matter with you?
Well, I didn't mean to make you nervous.
Yeah, you're making me feel awful. And what's your job?
I co-founded 100 Contacts.
100 Contacts. What's that?
The thing where you call and you get your contacts sent to you.
Contact lenses. That's good. Now that's good. Who wants to go for their
That's
contact
a brilliant
lenses?
idea. You must be incredibly wealthy.
No wonder you're staring at me like I'm from Mars. Probably got those contacts in, that's all. Well, this is Craig and John, and you donated money, and you also got the right to sit at the Knick game with Fafa Fui last night and Fred Norris.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
And the Knicks made it into the playoffs.
I know, that's
for
a miracle.
the first time in years.
That's a miracle. I'm so happy.
Since 2004.
What was it like sitting with Fafa Fui and Fred? Did they talk to you?
Absolutely.
They
were
did.
Fantastic.
You had
You
a
know
good time.
Fred talks.
Well, Fred's weird. Sometimes he doesn't talk, and then when he starts talking, he won't shut up. So you sat there, you talked to them, and you had a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are great interviewers.
Sorry.
I think they were
nervous?
enjoying themselves last night at the game.
Yeah, are you guys nervous or something?
I'm a little nervous.
You're a little nervous, okay?
Yeah.
Because I never seen anybody with just a blank stare like you. I mean, seriously.
Is Fred implying that they might be hungover?
I saw one of the gentlemen. I shall remain who shall remain nameless, but was imbibing quite freely with the beer.
Who was imbibing?
Mr. 100 Contact. But he can do that. He's the CEO of the company.
After spending the night with Fred and Gary, Baba Buhai, if you could only be with one of them, who would you be with? Who is your favorite? And I'll go to Craig first.
I go with Fred.
Fred.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because he didn't say much.
There you go.
Maybe Fred couldn't talk. Gary talks a lot. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Gary talks a lot.
Like he doesn't get it. He doesn't. He's like a woman, right?
Yeah, I was
good
lucky
at it.
because I was on the end, so he took the brunt of the talking.
And is it mostly like nonsense talk? Like
No, it was, just chatter. Just,
yeah, he knows about everything, right? He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This reminds me of the time. Did you know the Knicks did this? Yeah, my boy Lucas plays basketball too. It's always a constant dialogue, right?
yeah.
Would you rather have Gary not been there and just gone with Fred?
No, I had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was a good game too.
Yeah, it was a really good game.
John-
It's hard to watch the game and sit with those guys at the same time because it's really loud. It's a sporting event.
Right.
And you want to see the game.
Right.
At the same time, you want to talk to those guys, but you can't really have a conversation. So.
Well, Gary should understand that. I mean, he's talking through the whole game, right?
Kinda.
What is he talking about?
Guy talk.
Guy talk.
Basketball.
You know, I know you guys probably saw my pitch at Chase Stadium, but I gotta tell you, I do know a lot about sports. Did you read my book?
Absolutely.
You did? Did you know my father's name was Sally Fu? That was his nickname?
Sally Fu could have been a gangster, but he took the straight and narrow path.
John, did you agree that Gary would be the guy you wouldn't want to be? Like, you'd rather be with Fred?
No, they were both great.
They were both equally great.
Yes.
All right. Well, very nice.
He's a diplomat.
When you got to the part of my book with the lists, did you enjoy it?
Oh, absolutely.
You did? Howard made fun of me. But I know it set a tone for the book.
I understand that you're from Utah. Now, which disc would you take back to Utah with you?
Wait, if it only was anything like that.
They said you didn't shut up.
No, he said I didn't shut up, and
That's
I didn't.
right.
I hardly talked to him the whole game. He was 2 seats away. Nobody could hear anything.
He says you didn't shut up.
No, John was sitting
What,
next
he's lying?
Yeah.
Not lying.
He doesn't say a fucking word. Like talking to a fucking Mount Rushmore over
Because
there.
the guy wants to watch the game. He's a man.
I was talking to John, right?
Yes.
He was talking to John sitting next to me, and he had a lot of questions about the show, which I graciously answered.
Right.
We hardly got to talk, except when John got up to go to the bathroom.
He said you didn't shut up. I'm going with him.
You should go with him. You'll be bored to tears.
Thanks.
Craig and John. All right. Well, enjoy the show. And Anthony, what can I do for you?
Listen, man, I got a new question for Robin.
Dude.
And possibly George. Want to know when's the last time they got their asshole licked?
George, when's the last time you had your asshole licked?
Sunday.
Ooh. Well,
That's a
George
good
has
one.
had it sooner than me.
When's the last time you had that, Robin?
I can't remember.
Can't even remember. Was it really that long ago?
Asshole licking?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen all the time.
You know what? I'm not much into that, but when Brad obviously
It
licks,
happens.
when Brad does that to you, do you feel obligated to lick his asshole?
No, not necessarily.
It's not quid pro quo.
I mean, it's spontaneous. You know, it's happening while we're wrestling.
Oh, he's licking and wrestling and
How does he?
all at the
How
same
does he
time?
win the wrestling match? If I know you guys like to wrestle, but how does he win the wrestling match if you're busy licking his asshole? Or if he's busy licking your asshole.
We don't stay at it. You know, it just happens while if
So his face ends up in your ass,
between, you know,
and then he starts licking your asshole.
it's just in passing.
Right.
It's a little sign of affection.
When you do that, though, that's a heavy taste. I mean, that's a thick.
No, we're clean. when we
Yeah,
do
but
that.
I don't care how
You
much
know,
you
they
clean.
shower first.
Yes.
You remember.
When he licks it, though, does he get in there and get the sphincter, or
No.
no? What?
Just, you know,
What?
Just a
Lip-
swipe?
yes.
Swipe. Swipe. I could use a swipe myself.
You guys had a good time in there today?
Yeah, it was fine.
Are you afraid you might have stepped on Gary a little bit, or is it?
No, yeah, he misunderstood it a little bit. All I was saying is I heard him and John talking the whole time. It wasn't anything big, but I could hear him. It was loud at the game, so I couldn't really contribute to the conversation at all.
But you don't feel slighted, or that Gary was talking John's ear off and not yours?
No, not at all. It's John's gig. He sat next to Gary. I was on the other end.
So you expected to be sort of on the periphery.
Yeah.
of it.
I was on the peripheral, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Now, did you guys envision talking with Howard on the air today, or were you expecting a more laid-back sit-in?
Well, typically when people come in for charity things, he talks to them a little bit, so I expected it.
You knew what to anticipate for this.
Yes.
Worth the auction, though? Worth everything, every penny and all that?
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. It was a great experience.
Yeah, it's
You know,
fun.
we've been listening for so long that it's fantastic to meet everybody and see what happens up here.
I was going to ask you, how does it measure up to what you listen to actually see it in front of you for your own eyes?
Well, you just get a little better feel for how the show is run. It was a great experience.
Pretty surreal.
And all the Sibian things here.
Yeah, I mean, you're right here by all the attachments. That's pretty cool. You can see some of the greatest rides that have happened.
The OJ mask, Beetlejuice. It's
all of the staples.
It's great to see it finally.
Cool. Well, thanks for stopping by, guys.
Thank you.
Now I guess it's time to face Gary in the wrap-up show.
Oh, yeah. It's just a misunderstanding, right?
As most things are around here. You feel punched in the face by the way
No,
these guys are?
I think everybody, when they get in there, they want to be a jokester. I think he's just saying whatever he could say to get a rise out of Howard. You know, he wasn't sitting next to me, and it was very loud, so it was difficult to speak at all. So I mostly spoke to John, and Fred hardly spoke to either one of them because that guy, Craig, was so far, he was 4 seats away. And, you know, it's a weird thing when you go to something like this because it's a balance. Like, I could have not spoken to them at all, and they could have come in this morning and go, we paid $27,000 and Gary fucking ignored us. So I felt a little bit of an obligation to chat a little bit because they paid money to hang out with us.
Plus, they're asking you questions about the show.
Well, John was asking me a lot of questions about the show. That guy Craig, he didn't really seem to know as much about the show. He's more of I think he came as a friend, so I don't think he's as big a fan.
But at the same time, you want to watch the game. You want to let them watch the game. So it's you're saying.
I don't think listen. There's a lot of downtimes, a lot of timeouts. I don't think I was interrupting during the game, and like I said, I didn't talk to him much at all because I didn't really have a clear shot at him. So when John got up to go to the bathroom twice. Again, I talked to him because it was weird. You know, I felt like if I talked to Fred, like I was turning my back on the guy who paid money to be there. Listen, he could have come in, no matter what I did last night, he could have come in with an angle on it.
You feel they feel the need to shtick it up in front of Howard.
You know what? I got great seats to sit into that game. I had a good time with Fred. I had a good time with the guys, and that's it.
Wheels, go ahead. You have the. I got to get to a commercial break. Kim Cattrall's going to stop by. I'll tell you how that happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she emailed me, said I have to get on right away. She's in some sort of movie that needs immediate fan attention.
She said, stop everything.
Yeah.
Let me on.
We said, well, we'll have you in next week because, you know, she's Kim Cattrall, Sex and the City. Want to hear?
Sure.
Said, we'll spend some time with you. We don't have time.
No.
She said, I got to get the fuck on your show because I need people to see this movie. I should have
the Sibian.
Yeah, I should have said to her, well, you got to ride the Sibian.
No conditions? You just let her on?
What am I going to tell you? So I said, we don't have a lot of time, but I'd be happy to let you come in and say hi to the audience and tell them.
Tell them about your movie.
Yeah, give them the pitch.
Hey, what's up, Kim?
Hey, it's early morning this morning.
I know, this is a rough schedule here.
I'm so excited.
Welcome. This is your first time.
Yeah, first time for everything. Yes. Oh, a little donut.
Yes, this is Cupcake Wednesday.
Oh, God. Dangerous.
You
Very
picked a good
dangerous.
day to come in.
I did? Oh,
Yes,
always a good day.
Just this way.
The bunny room.
So Howard was saying earlier you have a new movie out.
I do. It's called Meet Monica Valor, and this is our director behind you. This is Keith Bearden.
Nobody wants to see me on camera. There's the star of the show.
He's behind the camera. This is a movie we did 3 years ago and made for absolutely nothing. And it was released, got great reviews in the New York Times. It was just about to start, breaking out as far as finding an audience, and they pulled the movie. So I didn't think that was right. I didn't feel that it had really had its due. So Keith and I decided that we were going to do a campaign to make this movie, bring it to an audience. So we begged. We got one theater, the Beekman Theater. It's going to be showing this weekend from the 29th to the 5th, and we hope everybody will come out and see it. It's a sweet, lovely movie. If you like movies like Harold and Maude or Little Miss Sunshine, you'll really like this movie. We didn't have any kind of budget to get it out there, so we're the movie. And it's right now the Tribeca Film Festival here in New York, where it was discovered last year, so it feels cyclical, so we're here to get the word out. Meet Monica Valor.
Well, this is a good place, Howard. Obviously.
Phew. Every cab I get into, anybody who serves me at a restaurant, it's just sort of we're like this two-band team. We're spreading the word. So we're just so thrilled that Howard has us on this morning to talk about it.
Now, you've met Howard in your personal life, but you've obviously never done the show before.
No, I'm really excited. I really am. I mean, he tells me that he's been a fan of my work since I started as an actress. So I'm excited to be in the room with him and Rob, and I'm a big Sirius radio fan. I live out, at the beach, not close to where Howard is. He's on the Ritzy area, but I run into a lot of parties where I see Howard. He never stays very long. He's out the door. Hello, goodbye. But when I have had those chance meetings, he has told me how much he's enjoyed my work. So we'll see what happens today.
Should be a good time this morning.
It'll be a good time, yes. I've had a very long, varied career, so I'm sure he has a lot to ask me.
Cool. Well, good luck today and have fun with Howard.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Kim Cattrall contacted me that she needed to get the word out.
Do you know her?
I do know Kim. I've met her a couple of times.
Oh, so that's how she contacted you.
Yeah, she's extremely attracted to me.
Is that right?
As most women are. Kim, come in and tell us.
Good morning.
Tell us about how attracted you are to me. And
yes, before you sit down. Yes.
You look good, baby.
Thank you. I thought for sure that I was going to sit in the tickle chair this morning.
Hey, you're going to get on the Sibian.
We can pull it out for you.
I bet
you look
can.
sexy today.
Thank you.
What's going on with you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I have a cause.
Yeah, I know. We're going to get to your movie, but I'm just looking at you.
Maybe the sex comes from the inside. And she's always sexy.
Oh, God love you. God love you.
Those your real breasts?
Yeah, absolutely.
They are?
Absolutely.
You've never had implants?
Never desired to.
Are you
never.
a C or a D?
No, I'm neither.
You're a B. Shocking.
Yes, I am.
Because
B for beautiful.
I'm looking at you now,
and proud.
You know what's funny about you, Kim? I'm looking at you. You're a sex symbol, obviously.
Thank
but
you,
I'm
Howard.
looking at your chest, and I'm a man who knows something about bosoms. You appear to be a C or a D.
No,
and yet you
Howard.
fool the world.
Recently my mother came to visit me, who's in her 80s.
Right.
And I have a little jacuzzi in
Of course you do.
Yes, just a little one.
Right.
And I said, Mom, get in. And she said, No, I'm embarrassed. I said, No, go ahead. It's just you and me. And I saw my mother's breasts, and I have my mother's breasts, and they were sitting very high. So I thank my mother.
At 80?
At 82.
Wow.
And I have to say, if that I'm not frightened.
I like your hair like this. I
Thank
like
you.
this shorter look.
Thank you.
It's attractive to me.
When Sex and the City 2 opened in Tokyo, I just cut it all off.
This is a good look for you.
Thank
I
you.
want you to keep your hair this length.
And yours as well.
Yeah.
Shorter, too.
Shorter is better for me.
As you get older, shorter is better.
That's right.
Yes.
Believe me, I'm trying to find every trick in the book.
Well, he had a lot of hair. Yeah.
I had a lot to lose.
You did have a lot of hair.
Absolutely.
You did.
You know, when I think about you in Sex and the City, I think you wanted the same money as Sarah Jessica Parker. That's what held up the second movie.
That's not true.
It isn't true.
No, it's not.
Dispel that, then.
I never asked for what Sarah got because Sarah was a producer. I felt that what they were offering the three of us, without a script, without a start date, was not fair after us being in that show and being such an integral part, not just playing the parts, but we inspired so many of the storylines.
You played the parts well. The show was a huge hit, and you said, listen, if I'm ever going to make the big money, it's going to be in this movie. This is it.
Exactly. We didn't have what other actresses on regular television, we didn't have sponsors.
Right.
So, you know, there was no way we were ever going to make per episode what Jennifer Aniston, millions of dollars. Never.
I've
ever.
always heard that HBO is infamously cheap in the sense that they will get, first of all, when they signed you guys up, no one knew it would be a hit. No one. So
No.
they get a hold of you, and you
They
figure
got it cheap, real
they
cheap.
got you cheap.
Which is fine. You know, we're willing to grow. But every year with HBO, as anyone will tell you, that negotiation, you get that fax that says if you don't report to work, you know, you will be in breach of contract because you're still trying to get something like a $2,000 raise.
Your initial contract was for 5 years?
No, any contract for a series is 5 years with an option for an additional year. And we
I
did the
see.
6 years.
I see. And so after you do the additional year, and maybe you go to them and say, okay, I want to renegotiate, or I want to...
Well, you go every year to renegotiate. That's just what you do on a series because they have a cap on everything. But then the series, like Sex and the City, explodes. Everybody's making a lot of money, and you think, well, I'd like to make some money too.
Can you go to someone like Sarah Jessica Parker and say, listen, we're sisters in this. We all contribute. This is why the show is successful. Let's go in together as a team and negotiate. Or does she say, hey, fuck off. That's your problem. I've got a good deal.
That never happened. What happened was I really was the one who spoke up and said, and I think it's because I've been in the business 10 years longer than the other girls. I'm 10 years older. And I had been a leading lady, and I thought, you know, this is not fair. We all need to, at this point, making these movies, at the end of the series, I'm not set for life.
Right.
I want to be set for life. I've done my 18-hour days for 6 years. We all deserve this.
Right.
So I fought for it, and sadly, you know...
Should Sarah have fought for you more?
I wish she had have. Yes.
She wish she did.
I wish she did.
Did she say anything?
No, it was never discussed. But you know that's part of some people's working thing. I respect that. They do their own deals. But no, it was
an ensemble piece, and clearly your character was very, very important to that show.
Well,
and to the films.
The good ending for this, the proper ending was that we did make the movie. I mean, when all these negotiations were going on, there was no script, and I thought, how do you take this little this little TV show, half an hour, and make a movie out of it?
Were you threatened with hey, you know what? We'll just put in another Samantha, you know, if you don't sign up. Were you ever threatened with that?
I think they would probably have tried that, but I remember when we were making the movie, Michael Patrick King turned to me and he said, you know, I wasn't going to do this without you, and I said, Michael, you couldn't have done it without me.
Did this ruin any friendships? Did this negotiation ruin any friendships?
No, ultimately, especially after the second movie, it made friendships, actually. It went to sort of a deeper, better level for all of us. Yes.
Yeah, I was always shocked on that. I mean, I love that show.
Thank you.
And I love the second movie. True, Robin?
Absolutely.
I thought it was terrific.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
I've said it a million times. I've been called gay for saying that.
Quite frankly, I thought the
You are not
political
gay.
statement of that movie was brilliant. You know, everybody's going to all of these Arab
Nobody
countries
got
and
it.
saying, you know, oh, this is great. You can do whatever you want here. And it was like, let's get the hell out of here and
I
go
know.
back to freedom.
I know, exactly. I mean, we couldn't film in the first two locations because we have the word sex in the title.
Do you think you got that role because in real life you are this wild sexual person or something?
No, I had done a film called Live Nude Girls, and I think from a very early age, films like Porky's and Police Academy and Mannequin, you know, for me as an actress, where I really live is in the theater, but you can't make a living in the theater.
No.
So, I mean, if you look at my resume, it's like two different actresses. One is like this theater career, which is very classical, and the other one is like these crazy movies that I was doing, but I was really paying my rent.
Right.
I didn't come from, I'm a blue-collar girl, you know. I didn't want to go back to waitressing and slinging hash. I wanted to continue, even, you know, in a movie that I felt, well, it's not exactly what I want to do, but it's going to pay my rent for the next 6 months.
Sure, no,
which
it's a
Porky's
business.
did.
Right.
Absolutely.
Porky's. What did you mean in your email to me? You wrote me an email and said, you're going to tell me something about the Porky's that I never knew.
Well, that was it, actually. That, you know, it came to me, Bob Clark took me to lunch, and I had done tribute with him with Jack Lemmon, which was nominated for Academy Awards. And then he said, I have this little movie which is going to change, you know, how people perceive you. And I went, yeah, right. And how is that? And then he sent it to me, and all my agents said, you can't do this movie. And I said, yeah, I can't do this movie, but I also can't pay my rent.
Right.
And I thought, you know, this movie will do well, and it'll probably do drive-ins. And I remember driving my car down Sunset Boulevard. I was living in L.A. very unhappily at the time, lonely, depressed. And I came across this huge mother-friggin' poster of Porky's, and the first name was my name. I was like,
And were you upset about that? Because you probably thought Porky's was probably a bullshit movie.
Nobody knew what it was. In some ways, it was way before its time.
It was a fantastic movie, and yet probably at the time you said, I'm a serious actress. I shouldn't be doing something called Porky's.
Porky's, but, you know,
you probably thought it was the end of your career, Porky's.
People thought it was the end of my career. Yes.
Right.
They
and
did.
meanwhile, it's one of the things that you are known for and praised for.
Yes.
And you were part of groundbreaking movies.
But at the time, they thought it was a piece of bunk. I mean, they went on and on how this isn't, you know, compared with other films that were out at the time, like Animal House. They were saying, this is a frat boy movie. This is stupid.
Was it hard for you to get work after Porky's? Was it like, oh, she's in that shitty Porky's?
It was easy to get work like Porky's, like Police Academy, because you're associated with a hit. So then you go on this trail, and this other trail that you were on with movies like Tribute and Ticket to Heaven, where you're nominated for awards and you're going that direction. Suddenly Michelle Pfeiffer is taking all those roles, and I can't get near them.
Because you were in Porky's.
Because I was sexualized in that way.
Do you hate show business? Do you hate do you have regrets? Do you wish your career had gone differently?
No.
You're
I
happy
don't.
about everything.
I've been doing a lot of plays, and that's always, as I said before, where I live and my passion is. And I did a play with Sir Peter Hall, who founded the National Theatre and the Royal Shakespeare Theatre. And I turned to him and I said, you know, I studied at Lambda, and this was where I was going to be. And I've gone in this huge circle.
Where'd you grow up?
I am. I was born in Liverpool, England, and I grew up on Vancouver Island.
And were you this little kid who used to always go around acting and everything?
Absolutely. Every summer school. And then in 1968, we went back to Liverpool because my grandmother was very ill.
Right.
And I met a great aunt who was an elocution teacher. And that's when I started studying acting when I was 11. And I became sort of a protege. And I started
And you
to
were
work.
hot, which helps, because if you don't
not
have
at
the
11,
looks...
I wasn't. I was a chubby little girl.
But when did you start to blossom?
Well, I feel right now, actually, is when I'm really
come on.
blossoming.
When did you start to become the hot chick?
Well, it was actually after Porky's.
After
sort of-
Porky's?
Yeah.
That's not true.
No, well, for me, it was.
In high
That's
school,
when I
you
was,
weren't hot?
No, my sister was.
And you were not hot?
I remember in high school, Howard, I was like into the high jump.
Yeah.
And they used to put like these saw chips from the mill, because I grew up in Vancouver Island where there's a lot of sawmills and things. And they made this big mound that you could fall in when you cleared the bar. And they were clearing it, and they said, oh, this is Cherry Cottrell, which is my older sister. And they built a big mound. And I was behind this fence witnessing this. And they said, this is her sister Kim, and they flattened it.
For you?
For me.
So you weren't the hot chick? But
God, no.
When you went out to Hollywood, didn't every guy try to bang you incessantly?
No, I was very lonely in Los Angeles.
Really?
Yes, and to this day, it's difficult to get a date.
Difficult to get a date, but listen, you've dated plenty. Don't paint yourself a wallflower. You were married 3 times, right?
No, I've been married
these
twice
guys-
and once annulled.
Once annulled.
Yes.
And the problem with these 3 marriages, to put it bluntly, is these guys didn't know how to fuck you.
No, well, you know what happened? I worked too much.
No. You were
no,
not
I'm telling you.
satisfied sexually.
No. I'm telling you, I work too much.
But
There's
why
no,
have
there's
you
no
said
time
you
for-
have been quoted as saying that the
Well,
sex was bad?
No, I wrote a book, Howard,
That's
called
right.
Satisfaction: The Art of the Female Orgasm.
I remember.
It's a very good book. And in the book, you know, it was quite naive of me at the time. I wrote this book to really distance myself from Samantha, to say
Right.
this is my reality and this is a character I play, but
Right.
this isn't what my experience has been. It has been, like many women, not fulfilling, really. So my first husband, you know, was European. I was working a lot. It was very stressful. All kinds of personal, situations were involved. My second marriage was
Well, wait a
completely
second.
different.
And he couldn't give it to you good enough, the European?
You know, it wasn't what you hope for.
You never had an orgasm
What
with him?
country was he from?
He was Polish, Jewish, German.
Oh, that's not a good combination.
And you never had good sex with him?
You know, it was. I don't. You see, what I think good sex is when a woman tells a man what she wants, and I don't just blame the men in these scenarios. I blame myself. Because I was
All right.
scared to ask. I was scared to say, I don't know. I was scared to say, can we try this?
Right. You were afraid to say, listen, I'm not getting off on this. Maybe you could do this to me or do that to
Exactly.
me. You were afraid
And
to ask
most
for what
women,
you needed.
I didn't know what I needed.
It's funny because
Completely.
you're such a good actress, especially when you take on a role like Samantha. I look at you and think of you as the most sexual person who is not afraid of anything because you've become that to me. You're too good at it.
Well, you know something. I did a scene as Samantha where I had to be photographed nude.
That's right.
And I didn't have any dialogue or anything to hang on to when we shot the photograph. And I said, you just got to give me a minute because I couldn't do it.
Really?
I couldn't do it as Kim.
But you did it.
What I did was I went behind this little flap and I said a bunch of lines from the upcoming episode. And I went, I got it.
You got into character.
I got it. In character, I can do it. But as Kim, that's why people say, oh, we've seen you nude. You haven't actually seen Kim nude. You've seen the characters that I play nude.
But you haven't been lonely. I mean, you dated Pierre Trudeau, who was
Yes.
the Prime Minister of Canada. He
Probably,
couldn't give it to you good?
You know, I was so young.
Young.
Very young. I was in my early 20s, and he was this incredible figure in my. You know, it was like it would be
How
like
old was he when-
dating Obama. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was just-
How old were you? How old was he?
He was in his early 60s.
You dated when you were in your 20s. You dated a guy in his 60s.
Yes, it's not unheard of.
Did
Howard.
I know, but did it freak you out?
No, he was in great shape.
Really, you were attracted to him.
Shape. Power is very attractive. It's an aphrodisiac.
Well, when a guy
yes.
pulls down his pants, he has gray pubes. That can turn off a 20-year-old girl. No,
You know what? I didn't see that.
you didn't see gray pubes
No, I
on
didn't.
Pierre Trudeau.
I
Maybe he
wasn't looking.
shaved.
You know, I wasn't looking for that. You know what I was looking for?
What were
I
you
was-
looking for?
You know, he was a fascinating man. A really fascinating man.
Who broke up with who then?
Well, it was kind of, one of those things. He was busy, I was busy, and I'm sure I wasn't the only young woman that he was, had his eye on. And I got a boyfriend, so it kind of was...
It fizzled.
Fizzled.
Who was the boyfriend? You dated Bruce Willis too. What happened
no,
there?
I didn't date Bruce
You
Willis.
didn't?
This is a myth. Bruce Willis and I think, passed on 495 or 27 on the way to some kind of event.
You never
See,
had him.
I've worked with him on Bonfire of the Vanities, and we did a read-through, and I haven't seen him since. At the time, I would have liked to.
No sex.
But no Bruce Willis. No.
Wow. 3 marriages, no
Two
Bruce Willis.
marriages, one annulment.
I call that a 3 marriages. What do you mean annulment? That means you didn't bang the guy.
No, usually, hopefully, you're at least a little, knowledgeable of someone sexually before you marry them. It just, he was a Canadian, and he was getting his green card. This is a very
Yeah.
And I loved him in that moment, but always we knew that it wasn't going to go anywhere. And
There was no sex?
No, it was a relationship. I'm not saying that I didn't love him.
Are you difficult to be in a relationship with?
You know what? I am because I'm married to my job.
You love your job.
I love my job. Yes.
Never
I've
had children?
Never had children. No.
And you didn't want them, did you?
I did want children.
You did want
Yes,
children?
I did. For many years, I wanted children, and I just kept thinking, after this, it will happen, or this is the guy, and then that would kind of not work out. I thought, well, this is the guy, and then suddenly I thought, it's not going to happen.
There's no time for it.
So I thought to myself, well, how can I be a mom then? And I looked and I said, I have nieces and nephews. I have young actors I can mentor. And that's why being part of the Canadian Film Centre and being a mentor there, with young Canadian Canadian actresses, which I walked that walk, is incredibly satisfying.
Is this new movie? Is this part of this Canadian Film Center? I mean, you're so passionate about it. You're like, I got to get in there and I got to convince your listeners to go see this. What is this new movie you're in?
It's called Meet Monica Velour.
Meet Monica Velour. Is this where you play a porn star or a prostitute?
I'm a porn star from 1978. She was Miss January 1978.
Uh-huh.
And now we see her 30 years later.
Are you disgusted with the porn business as in the movie?
No, she never goes into that. She believes that when she was doing it in the 70s, we were
art.
artists then.
Right.
You know.
So she has that
didn't-
rationale.
Yeah, she has this great line. She says, what we got was, $50 and a case of the crabs.
Do people recognize her as a porn star, or is she
Yes.
washed up?
No, she's washed up now, but people who watch porn, there's a cop at one point who comes in and he doesn't say anything to her, but when he gets back into the cab, to the dispatch, he says, I loved her in Frankenbooty. So he's watched all of her porn.
Is your character disgusted by sex? Is she completely turned off to it?
She is in crisis. She's fighting for the custody of her 8-year-old daughter from her scumbag husband.
And no one wants to give her custody because she was a porn star.
No one wants to give her custody. They don't even want to give her a $5 an hour shampoo job in this town. She's trying to get any kind of a job.
Because she's considered a slut.
She's an outcast. This movie is about outcasts. That's
Are you
what it's
nude in
about.
it? You would have to be
No,
nude.
no.
Do you have love scenes?
Yes,
Why
I
does
do.
she have to be? I don't know.
Hey, the thing that's great about this movie is the people that you expect to see naked, you don't. And the people
Right.
you don't want to see naked, you do. Like Brian Dennehy. You see the whole ball sack. You see his ass. You see everything.
Ass and ball sack.
Yes, yes.
What?
I wonder if
Yes.
that's Brian or
I'm
his
Brian
character.
Denny.
I hate to admit it. I've always wanted to see his ball sack. Yeah, I'm kind of weird about that.
About Brian's
No,
ball
but-
sack.
Now, why did you? I read a story about you in the paper about
Yes.
this new movie. And by the
Yes.
way, the new movie is called Meet Monica Velour, and Kim's so passionate about it, she'll be doing Q&As at the.
You know what else I'll be doing? Serving popcorn at the concession. If they
because you
could
think
get me
this
to do that,
you think
they
this
would.
is that important a film?
I really do.
Why did you get upset? I read in the paper you
Yes.
got pissed off at a reporter. Reporter came up to you and said, "Look,
Well,
you
let me-
have a young coach. So I'm going to set it up.
Okay.
You have a
there's
young.
two. I've been pissed off a little bit lately. I was angry with Anchor Bay Films because they bought this at Tribeca last year. Now, this was a hit at Tribeca. They compared it to Harold and Maude and Little Miss Sunshine. Got great reviews in the Hollywood Reporter, Variety. It was saying the work of my life, of her career, 35 years. I was like, yes, finally we're going to take Samantha and we're going to change all of that.
This could be your Academy Award.
Well, I don't know about that. What it could do is open people's idea as me as an actress playing other than one role that I'm known for.
Right. You don't want to be Herman Munster. You don't want to be Samantha. That's it.
I love Samantha. I owe her a lot, but I can do more.
Okay.
So I thought, here we have. Then my schedule last year was crazy. I was doing 2 plays in the West End and a television show for PBS, which was on PBS, Any Human Heart. So this was my window. And this window for most movies, Hollywood is polishing turds at this time of year.
Right.
They're putting things out there which are not very good.
There's a lot of shitty movies with no plot, nothing to really
Exactly,
see.
and this is the time of year before the blockbusters. This little gem comes out, gets a great review in the New York Times. They have no money for advertising.
Right.
So, okay, I've got celebrity status. I do every show I can in New York. I do every show in L.A. We go to Detroit where we filmed it. I do an opening there. I create an opening with the Canadian Film Center. So it goes worldwide. And this is a word-of-mouth movie, but there's no ads in the New York Times, a tiny little ad.
They got no money.
New York Magazine, not even
So
an
why
ad
are you
there.
angry?
Because they pulled the movie. And they pulled the movie on a night where friends of mine was in one movie in New York at the Clearview Cinema.
You mean you're mad at the movie studio for pulling the movie out because they had no advertising money?
No, they had no advertising, so nobody came. And
I
just
see.
as they were starting to find an audience, and there's this website you can go to called The Numbers. And the day before they pulled it, we were up 192%, which if that had continued, which it would have through word of mouth, we would have become one of the top 10 independent American movies of that
So
week.
they pulled the plug too early is your
Yes.
complaint. Now, the other complaint
Yes.
I heard
Now,
was...
let me finish.
Go
so
ahead.
I called them and said, what can we do about this? I'll do anything. Please, another week. Finally, they said, it's not us, Anchor Bay, who are pulling it. It's the movie theaters because the Tribeca Film Festival. I said, but who do I talk to? Who are the movie theater owners? So we've got you a theater. I said, okay, where is it? It's the Beekman Theater on 66th and 2nd. I said, I'll do Q&As. I'll do whatever they have. They say,
Will you have sex with a member of the audience for the movie? Are you really that passionate? Would
well,
you
I don't know if I
out?
go that far. I will prostitute
You will have
myself
listen
for
to
it.
me. You will have a packed house. How about a hand job?
But I am willing to talk. I am willing to talk sex
Talk.
for this movie.
You
I am
will.
willing. I'm
You're willing
willing
to go
talk
all
sex.
out.
Yes, for this movie because I believe in it. I think Keith Bearden. It's his first movie. He did a fantastic job. It's a road picture. It's a love story. It's a date movie. It's sweet.
I've never seen you like this. You're so passionate about it. Now,
well, you got to see the movie.
here I'm going to go see it. I'm going to
You
go to
won't
the Beekman
recognize me.
Theater.
I gained 20 pounds. I look really.
You
I
look good
let
now. Now
myself-
you lost the weight, didn't you?
It was 3 years ago.
Oh,
That's
3
how-
years ago
that's
you
how-
shot this.
That's how long it's been to get this movie out. 3 years.
Did you freak out when you had to gain that weight?
I loved it.
You loved it. What did you do to gain 20 pounds? Did you eat like shitty pizza and
I ate
ice cream?
everything.
Everything.
And I don't have a private chef.
What happened to your What happened to your body? Did you get a cellulite?
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Well, every
on the
woman has
tuchus?
cellulite.
You have cellulite.
Every woman has cellulite.
How does your ass look naked?
I like my ass.
It's nice.
I like my
No
ass.
dimples of cellulite.
I'm sure there are, but my apartment is very well lit.
When's the last time you got laid?
Oh God.
Robin has no cellulite. by the way.
None.
Absolutely not. None.
We
Zero.
all do, don't we? Come on.
Absolutely.
I've seen anorexics with it.
With cellulite.
Yes,
You
I
should
have.
see my ass. Holy cow.
You should see Brian Dennehy's ass.
That ain't nothing to look at.
It's nothing to look at.
I had cellulite in my 20s.
So
you're,
did I.
So you're telling me.
That I have cellulite. Yes.
When was the last time you had sex, honestly?
Oh my God. I can't remember.
Well, wait a second. Let me tell you what I heard. I want to get to this. I read in the newspaper that
Yes.
when you shot this movie,
Yes.
I guess somehow the director and your young co-star
Yes.
said that you did a love scene or some scene where you're making out with him, and the rumor got started that he got a boner working with you.
It's not true.
And then a reporter asked you about it, and you
Yes.
blew up. And I
No.
said, "What's with Kim?" So they said, "Listen, the kid got a boner kissing her. I'd get a boner
First of
kissing
all,
you."
Thank you, Howard.
You're goddamn right.
Thank you. No, that never happened. It really didn't happen. And this was, I'd flown in that day, and then I get this little reporter who's saying, "So tell me about, how Dusty and Keith said this." And, Keith and Dusty, this is their first big movie. They're so excited.
Right.
They don't know what to say or not to say in kind of a joking way.
Right.
And we had such a serious relationship. I mean, Keith cast me as this. He could have had really so many actresses because these plum roles in your 50s, they just don't write them.
Right.
And we rehearsed for weeks. I transformed myself. He had me stay and listen to people. I lower my voice an octave for this role.
So
All
you're
of these
saying
things.
it trivializes everything?
Absolutely. It trivializes the movie. It trivializes and people are just waiting for that hook. That same
But
night.
listen to me.
But
Listen to me.
Yes.
My dear.
Yes, Howard.
That's a good story to get out there because to get people in the theater, if they know this kid is getting a boner during the love scene, so it's promotion. Why get upset? It's promotion. And you're a hot woman. The fact that you're a woman in her 50s and you're giving these kids boners.
Oh, God.
You should embrace that.
I guess you're right.
Of
I guess
course.
you're right. I was having a moment.
You're upset because you do such a good acting job. You don't want to trivialize that,
No, I
down to a boner.
I don't.
You
I
don't?
It's so much more than that. It really is.
But
And
these-
not that isn't something.
Right. But these
Anytime
young
I'm a
punks,
mess,
they get into bed with you and they get a boner. God bless you.
Well, we never got into bed in the film, but the thing that's crazy about this experience and this job that I have is that I'm still learning.
Are you denying that this kid got a boner? Is that what you're saying?
I was.
Are you-
No.
You wouldn't know.
He was a born again Christian when we worked. He's no longer a born again Christian.
You ruined it.
Because
Yeah.
No. I said to him, I think you might want to rethink the not ever having sex before you get married idea.
Yeah.
And he did, and he's out there dating now.
He
But
is.
when I met him, he was just this. He's home taught. He's very naive.
So if
He
the
would
kid
be
says he
so
got a
nervous.
boner, then it's probably true.
I don't think he
The question is
did.
to whether he said it, Howard.
I think he said it as a joke. Howard.
Oh, you do?
I do.
He doesn't need to be joking on your time. is in other words.
Not really.
Okay,
Not really.
I understand.
Not really.
So you were sensitive about it.
I was, because I think that film is so much more than that. I really do. I mean, it is about sex. It's about people who've been sexualized and marginalized, and they're outcasts.
Can
and
you
they
relate
find
to this
themselves
character
together.
as an actress? When you got to
Absolutely.
Hollywood as a young woman, were you ever molested or attempted? Was there ever an attempt at molesting you
Oh, my
for
God,
a casting
yes.
couch thing? Yeah.
Yes.
That directors would throw you down on a couch and say, "Give me
No,
your."
it wasn't as obvious as that. It was. I remember coming to Hollywood to test for Elia Kazan for The Last Tycoon. This was years ago. And a man called Sam Spiegel, who did films like On the Waterfront, he was a huge producer and incredibly gross. And he looked like a lizard, you know.
Right.
And I remember coming to the Paramount lot. They flew me from Vancouver Island. I was so excited. And I just graduated from theater school. I'd done one film with Otto Preminger, a terrible film called Rosebud. And this was going to be my thing. I was meeting the great Elia Kazan.
Right.
And I auditioned for him, and he went, "That's terrific. Now I want you to go in and audition for Sam Spiegel." So I auditioned for him, and he was sitting behind a huge desk, sort of like this, and he said, "Come here." And I thought, oh, well, I guess he wants to see my face to see if I, photograph well or something. I was literally 18 years old.
Oh, God.
And he came towards me, put his hands behind me, and pushed me towards him and tried to put his tongue in my mouth. And he was in his 70s at that point, and I literally went, and I ran out of the room. And this was the Hollywood moment. I got into my car because my agent at the time had driven me to Paramount Studios. I didn't know how to drive at that time. I sat next to her and I told her what happened, and she said, "So what did you do?" Like, I didn't play into it.
Oh, my God. That makes me so sad.
It makes me so sad, too.
I mean, I'm thinking of you as an 18-year-old girl. You're full of hope.
Oh.
You get your big audition. You go in there, and you're auditioning your heart out. And meanwhile, all this guy's thinking about, I'm going to jam my tongue down this chick's throat.
And then an invitation to go up to San Francisco with him. Even after that.
Even
after that. And I just thought, you know what, I can't.
Do you want to give up at that point? Because if it's all based on that, and you're 18 years old, it just looks bleak, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
How do you persevere through something like that?
Well, I really categorized that as that person and thought that exists, and knowledge is power at any age, at any time in your life. And I thought, I'm never going to be in a situation where I don't have anybody with me.
Mm-hmm. But were you shy to audition again? Like was it the thought in the back of your mind, oh, these guys just want to fuck me and that's it? I mean, I'm just
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
No, I felt that I was a contract player at Universal Studios, and they knew about what had happened shortly after that, and I felt protected by the company. I came up with Sharon Glass and Jamie Lee Curtis. We were all young actresses at the Universal Studios, last contract players in the system.
Right.
And I felt so much.
Contract player means you were signed to a studio
for 7 years of your life. Yeah.
And you only work for them.
Only for them.
Isn't that must have driven you nuts? Because when you would get offered roles, but it's kind of a beautiful thing too, because you're guaranteed work.
Exactly. And I had a big, huge student loan over my head, and I had to pay that student loan.
Are you a multimillionaire at this point?
No.
You're not?
No.
Even after Sex and the City?
No, I'm not multi. I'm okay for the rest of my life if I'm smart.
I'm going to guess your net worth is about $10 to $15 million. Am I close?
Well, that would be a multi-millionaire.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess with my properties, yeah, I guess so. But I have mortgages, and I help.
So you have to be careful. You don't live the lifestyle.
No.
You can't go in and buy the latest Birkin bag, right?
I don't want to.
You don't want a Birkin bag?
No, I don't ever want a Birkin bag, ever.
Does it bother you that Sarah Jessica Parker's 20 times more wealthy than you?
You know what? I still got more left in me. Who knows what I can do?
You do. You never look better. I swear to God. I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing?
Abstinence.
You're not getting operated on? I don't even think you're pulled back or anything. Are you?
No.
You don't have any Botox? Nothing?
I have Botox right here.
You do?
I do, right
You
here.
look terrific.
Thank you.
You look natural. You don't look like one of these whacked out broads all pulled back with the duck lips.
That's very easy for you to say, Howard, but I have to say I have a lot of sympathy for women, because where do we age in this country? You grow up with people like me, and as we start to age, people, they have this age rage thing. I go on the internet some lonely nights and I read an article and I think, oh, that's good. I like what the reporter's done. And then people have their comments, and some of them are, why doesn't this old hag go away?
Right, like go off like the Indians used to send you off the tribe and then just go out and die in the woods.
Exactly. And that was happening when I was in my 40s, and now I'm in my 50s. It's rageful, and these people can say it because you don't see their face.
Is it the hardest thing? I mean, you probably see like a woman in her 20s. You can't be. You're funny. You're delightful. You walk into a room, guys are grabbing you, trying to tongue you, take you away, and then as you get older and older and older, watching that sort of reaction not happen has got to be maddening.
Oh no, I still get that reaction.
Oh, you do. Oh, you look good.
Thanks. I think it's that, but it's also the feeling of this predator, in the room of Samantha. And after a while, people relax. But, people are looking at my face to see if I've had work done. They're not listening to what I'm saying. Or they're thinking,
I haven't heard a word you said. You know who you're looking like?
Who?
You look. I never realized you look like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, my God.
Look
Michelle.
at you.
She
I love
just
the
said
Michelle
all of her
Pfeiffer.
roles went to Michelle.
Yeah.
You know you do though.
Yeah.
The
No, we
two-
do. We do. She's got different lips than I do. She has like more of those open lips.
So you haven't been with a man in a long time, huh?
No, I've been single. I've been concentrating on my work.
And when you say lonely nights, what do? You're on the computer all night?
Sometimes I like to write. I like to read.
That's what you're doing?
I'm reading. Yeah, I'm reading a great book right now by Michael Cunningham.
What do you do to get the poison out?
You know, I take care of myself.
Vibrator, huh?
I take care of myself in many ways.
Robin uses a rack of vibrators.
Oh, there we go.
Talk to her about it. All right, listen to me. Kim Cattrall is in a movie. The reason
I want to know what happened to that agent who was like, well, what was your reaction? Did you get rid of her?
Eventually, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
because that's no
yes.
help.
No. I mean, the actors out there, the agents work for you. You don't work for your agent. I mean, we're so scared to speak up because a lot of them, they won't take you on. There's so many people wanting to be part of this business, you know.
Look at this, Kim.
no.
Here's the guy who tried to make out with you.
Oh, no.
That's his picture. Jesus. I mean, there's nothing grosser than that.
Ashamed of himself.
Ay
He
vey.
was a frog in a tuxedo with one of those horrible tongues, you know, like wrap around flies and things.
If he'd been halfway decent looking, maybe put out a little.
Never.
But for God's
never.
sakes.
Never.
Now, Kim is here because she wants you to see this movie.
I'm
She's-
excited about this movie.
I am
can't wait
too.
to see
It's
it.
right down your audience because it's Miss January 1978, and where is she now?
I like it. I
And
like the idea.
And the young geek who travels halfway across the country to find her.
Because he's in love with her.
He
thinks he's in love
seen
with her.
this is the personification of women. And the first scene that you see this character in, I do a strip.
Okay, now we're talking. Did you shave down for it?
Well, we don't get that far, as you see. If
No
you
vagina.
see the movie, no.
Titty?
I'm not nude. I'm not nude.
Do we
in this
see
film.
titty?
No.
No,
What do you mean? Don't answer for her. You don't know that.
You don't. But you see.
Why don't I see titty?
You see other things. You see other things.
What do
which,
I see?
Which are much more interesting than titty.
What's more interesting than titty? Vagina, and I don't see that.
No, what you see is
Ass.
from. I told you. You see Brian Dennehy's ass.
No, what about you?
Well, you see
You stripped
a
down.
big stomach. You know, I did a scene in this movie which I've wanted to do my whole life, which I'm standing in front of a mirror,
Right.
and I've got this. When I gain weight, it's in my hips and in my belly, and I have this scene which all women do. You're sitting there, you're nude, you're just out of the shower, and you grab your belly fat and you shake it.
And you do that.
I got to do that. And there's another scene where my legs are open. I'm wearing these horrific underwear. I'm drunk. I've got this old house coat on. I've got a wine goblet, and I take a Twinkies and I dip it in the wine, and I taste it, and I think, hey, that's not bad, and do it again.
And you get to do those things. Does Sarah Jessica Parker see this movie? Did you invite her to this screening that's going to happen on?
You know what? I haven't heard from any of the girls.
It's
so
weird.
I don't
They
know.
don't like you, do they?
No, I don't think it's that.
Come on. Let's get real.
Howard,
I don't
really-
think the Sex and the City girls like you.
Well, I think
you
a
think
lot of
they-
people
that-
in the press
Yes.
have a lot invested in that.
What do you mean? Yes, they do. They want to keep that feud going. But why wouldn't
Yeah,
Sarah
sells
come and
newspapers.
support you? This is an important film to you. This is I've never seen you so fired up about
Well,
a role.
that's
the
a good
movie's called
question.
Meet
I don't
Monica
know.
Velour.
You'd have to ask her.
Did you invite her?
Well, invitations went out, and I said anybody and everybody who, is in New York at this time. Maybe she wasn't in town.
And she didn't even call and say, I can't make it.
Nobody called me.
She doesn't like you.
I don't know what it
She's
is.
saying
Of
none
course.
I don't know what
the
it
girls
is.
Did
called.
she is not supporting you. And what about the other two nutnicks?
They didn't call either.
Where are they?
Well, one of them,
Charlotte, the sweet one.
She lives in L.A. You
Yeah.
know? And I just
And what
haven't
about
heard
the
from anybody.
other one who went lesbian?
They have babies. They have lives. They're busy.
Too busy for their friends. Too busy for the woman that made Sex in the City what it was. The woman that made them money.
I'm not saying anything.
Wow. What about the creator, Darren Stars? He come to see the movie?
No, not that I know of. No.
What the hell is going on?
I
Boy, show
agree.
business is.
They're all on to the next thing. I
Do you
guess.
think it's you?
No, I think it's just that people are busy, and now
but
we live.
why don't they like you?
I don't think it has to do with liking
like
me or
you.
not liking me. You know what it is? I think that movies come to people now. People don't go to movies. They're
If
very,
Sarah
very
Jessica
busy.
Parker wrote you a note and said, I want you to come see my new movie, you would be there for her, wouldn't you?
I was there for the Morgans movie. Yes,
You were?
Yeah.
You
Gladly.
went.
Gladly.
And she wrote you and said, would you come?
I would go. Yes, I support Sarah in everything she does. I think she's terrific.
Sarah, this is not right. What you're doing to this woman.
Don't.
All right, maybe you got your differences.
She's not doing anything. She's not doing anything. She's busy. She's got her life.
No,
Really.
listen, she's not that busy. She got 20 nannies. Listen to me. You're a woman. You work together with her. Put aside the differences. Go out and support.
maybe she'll come to the Beekman and she'll see it. We've got a week. This is
the important week. You got 1 week to make this movie work.
And if people come out and support the movie,
people like Sarah Jessica Phony, Parker.
You're terrible. You're terrible.
I mean, come on. I'm not terrible. Let's be honest. Let's be real. You work together. Let's support each other as actresses, as women.
You heard it here.
So I've said the truth, haven't I?
Well, I think it's important to support each other. Yes, I do.
And they're not there for you. You went to the Morgans, whatever the hell that is.
It was a Sarah Jessica Parker movie.
I didn't see it.
Not too many people did.
That's right.
Hopefully more people will see.
Was the Morgans a bad movie?
It's a rom-com, and I like rom-coms, and I think Sarah, what she does is really great. So I did enjoy, and I like Hugh
Look
Grant.
at you putting on a face that says, hey, I'm not going to say anything negative about her, but she won't show up for my movie. Poor you. Alone with your computer and your vibrator, sitting in that apartment.
You know something?
Where's Smith Jarrett? Did he show up?
No.
Not even Smith Jarrett likes you.
No, it's not about liking me. What are you?
They should support you. I support you. My audience will support you.
That is why I'm here.
Look, go see Kim Cattrall and meet Monica Valor at the Beekman Theater in Manhattan this Friday through Thursday. Kim is going to do pretty much anything you want at this Q&A.
Q&As.
At the 7 p.m. screening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And go over to this Beekman if you live around this area. Come on. Give her a shot. It's a good movie about a porn star who's past her prime, and she's dealing with the town and the whole thing.
Yeah, she's dealing with aging alone, fighting for the
Who are you hanging with these days? Pee Wee Herman?
No.
You don't even hear from him, do you?
No, I don't even hear from him.
I'm sorry for you. I don't think you have a friend in the business.
I do.
But you must be a monster.
Michael Stipe is a good friend of mine.
Oh, Michael Stipe.
Yeah. And I think he's terrific. And
him you like?
I think he's amazing. Really a talented man. And he came to see the movie
What's
the
he
second
doing?
day.
What
he
is
just
he
had
doing?
an album out. R.E.M. had just got like an amazing album.
Really?
Where they made a film for each song. They got different filmmakers, Sophia Cal and James Franco. They each made a film for each song. He's still creative. He's still doing movies. I mean, he did Being John Malkovich. I mean, he's a real he's an artist.
I'm looking you over. I can't see how you don't have a man.
It's
crazy.
They're terrified.
No, I'm not terrified.
But you're married.
Oh, that's right. No wonder I'm not terrified.
See, this is the problem. The
That's
older
the
you
problem.
get, they're either incredibly damaged or they're married.
Well, I'm both of those things. So I'm a double header. All right, listen to me. You've said it all. We get the point. We like this idea of you in this movie. Now you need us to go.
Yes.
And we'll be there. Believe me, we're not Sarah Jessica Parker or those other two.
I love you.
I don't even know
Howard
the names of
Stern.
the other two, honestly.
I love you,
I know
Howard
you
Stern.
and Sarah Jessica Parker. I don't know the other
who are those other
two. The other two are replaceable. You're not.
Kristen Davis and Cynthia Nixon.
Yeah, I'm surprised you know their names based on their support of you. Well, look, it doesn't seem to bother you, so it's not going to bother me.
I have a lot of great people in my
I
life.
wish you great things. I wish you know what I wish for you?
Yes.
A beautiful trip to Peru where they rub good and plenty all over you. I'm not kidding. And a beautiful ceremony.
Thank you.
I wish that for you.
Thank
See, Kim Cattrall, and I wish you happiness and success with this film.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin.
Let me just say, see Kim Cattrall and meet Monica Valor. That's the name of the movie, and it's going to be at the Beekman Theater. This is the make or break week for this movie.
Let's go.
It's in Manhattan this Friday through Thursday. This is it for, listen, Kim needs you there. She's being honest.
I do.
Actresses don't often say that, but she's saying she needs you.
It's worth your while.
She's saying it might even be fun.
Yes. It's
Kim-
actually a funny, sweet movie. You'll
Yeah.
enjoy it.
That's right. And you'll see Brian Dennehy's ball sack.
Yeah, can't wait.
Close your eyes for that. Thank you for stopping by
How
here.
can I thank you?
Oh, I'll think
For
of a
you.
way.
Yeah.
I know what you can do. Believe me.
You made your Stern Show debut today.
Yes, I did. I'm no longer a virgin of the Howard Stern Show.
What's it like making the transition from someone you know in your personal life to seeing them in their craft, seeing Howard behind his board? And
You know, I feel that I know both of those Howards. I know the private Howard a little bit less, but he's always been incredibly generous to me and supportive of me, and today is just another indication of that in the guise of this persona, which is actually just a pussycat making fun. And it's, he's a great actor in a way. He plays this role beautifully. And it's like playing tennis with him, I feel like little McEnroe out there, And so it was really a thrill.
So you feel like he can walk that line between knowing you in your own way, but
yes, and he's very instinctual. He picks up a vibe about someone, and that's what he follows. The truth, his truth, and you got to go with that. And I'm not a bullshitter. He knows that, and I think that there's a chemistry that can happen on his show, and I felt that today. That's what was so exciting about it.
So now that you've crossed into his universe, can we expect you back for many more appearances?
I sure hope so. I really do. I have a play opening on Broadway in November, Private Lives, and he'll come, so maybe we'll sit down and talk about sex in 1921, which is what that play is about.
Maybe steer away from the vibrator talk this time.
Yes, exactly. I don't think they had those electrical units then.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Kim.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Good luck.
Investigations do a number of different investigative services. These are two of my decoys, John and JoJo. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about my book, Happens All the Time. We're going to talk about my dealings with the Church of Scientology, and I'm going to teach people how to cheat and catch them.
So you're going to get behind your operation. Tell Howard how it works, how you catch cheaters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to get behind the operation.
All right,
and, we're going to educate him.
Best of luck today, Mark.
Thank you very much.
Hey, one of these guys is here. He's got one of these personal investigating services. He catches cheating spouses. I was just saying to Gary, I took Gary out to dinner last night for his birthday. What, is he 50?
Gary? I don't know.
Or is he old? Was it your 50th, Gary?
Is that true?
Was it your 50th? Yeah. How come your wife didn't have like a big 50th birthday party for you? Isn't that like a big milestone? Or she did, and we weren't
Maybe
invited.
it's no big deal when Gary turns 50.
I think that Mary's birthday is the day after mine.
Yeah.
So I don't think she wants to celebrate her birthday.
Were you disappointed that she didn't sort of throw a big bash? Because a wife usually does that for a husband. You're a pretty good fucking husband.
You know what? Some of our neighbors threw a small dinner party with a lot of our friends.
Were you disappointed, though, in a way?
No, it was okay.
You
Did it occur to you that something might be happening?
No.
No?
No.
Gary was walking around all day with a big smile on his face. He was waiting for the big surprise.
No,
Opening every door, expecting somebody to jump out.
I took Gary out to John George last night.
Ooh, nice.
What a great restaurant.
Ladies
Holy
got
shit.
dressed up. Mary looking great. Beth looking great. They, they got dressed up. I put on my beautiful suit.
Did you?
Well, yeah.
In the middle of the week.
Yeah. Took Fafa Fui out.
I put on my beautiful suit that Howard bought me 2 birthdays ago.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of use out of that.
I do.
I got to get you another new one.
That's a nice suit.
Yeah, it's so we had a nice night.
So that's a big deal for Gary's 50th.
So I said to Gary, because we're having this guy Mark on who has this private investigating service. I said, wouldn't it be just kind of cool, like, Mary's not cheating on you? I think
well,
Mary...
Gary watches her anyway. He's got cameras all over the house.
Right. So I was just like, but wouldn't it be cool to hire, like, they have a female private investigator and a male one.
Oh, they do that thing where they try to entice you.
Yeah. And so, like if this good-looking guy, like, went up to Mary and just was kind of, like, flirting with her at the supermarket, like, would it be interesting to see if she flirted back a little bit?
Just to see how far she goes.
Yeah. Hey, let me bring in Mark.
But what if it goes too far?
So then you divorce her. You got to.
He's got to trust.
Like, what if she blows the guy?
Exactly. What if she says, hey, there's a hotel down the block?
All right, this is Mark Chiappetta. I think I'm saying that right. There's Mark.
Hello.
On the end there.
And the hot chick is...
that's the investigator, because I was going to say, who are these two investigators?
Hot chick is JoJo Ryder. JoJo is the girl you meet at the bar, and then when you take her up for the blowjob, then she goes, guess what? You're fucked. And this good-looking gentleman is John Lamb.
Hi there.
Hi, Robin. How are you?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
The vibration from the bass, right? It's a good time.
Robin, I'm going to fuck you.
We're going to get a little squirrely later.
I'm going to tell your husband.
I got a bag of carrots and cucumbers.
Mark, I was saying to Gary, it'd be cool
Yes, sir.
to hire... What's the name of your company?
On the Mark Investigations. We're based out of Brockton, Massachusetts.
Be kind of cool to hire your company and, like, like, I'm reasonably comfortable that Beth isn't cheating on
You're
me.
sure?
Although I'm sure a lot of guys say that and find out they are. But, like, I wouldn't mind seeing if a good-looking guy like John went in there and, like, said to Beth, hey, baby, like, how far... Hello. How far, like, how far would it go? Like, how much flirting would go on? Now, you say an interesting statistic.
Yes.
60% of the men you investigate go too far with these women, like they want to have sex with them, right?
Really? 60%?
Yeah, men are pigs, you know that. And,
Right.
And men can't risk temptation, especially
JoJo.
Gay men that like John.
Oh, right.
And then with JoJo as well.
JoJo, 60% of the guys you investigate end up hitting on you?
Yeah, probably about that much.
What do you consider...
going too far?
Yeah, like, okay, let's say a guy's at the bar, he meets you, and he just talks to you for the night. We're not calling him a cheater, are we?
No. If it gets handsy and hands-on and things are going, like, further and there's, like, innuendos and so on and so forth, then I get the kind of the nod or whatever from Mark. I kind of, we're in contact with each other.
When do you get the nod? Like if a guy says, hey, let's go back to my room, then you have enough on him, right?
I'll say, let me go freshen up or whatever, and
you're out.
left.
It all depends on, what the client also perceives as cheating, Howard,
Right.
As you know, the former president of the United States didn't consider a blowjob cheating.
Right.
So it depends on what the wife wants.
So the wives hire you. They say, look, I want to know if my husband's cheating on me. I want the definitive answer.
Yes.
JoJo goes out. She puts on a hot little outfit.
Absolutely.
She goes over to the bar. She talks to the guy. Hey, how are you? I'm JoJo. Blah, 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 blah. A little small talk.
Yep.
The cheaters, how long does it take them before they make their move?
It's all different.
Depends how drunk they are.
And it depends on how aggressive they are and how much of a cheater they are. You know what I mean? It's all individual.
And I'm always standing close by on any job that I take her or any of my other female decoys on.
Yeah.
I'm always shadowing them. That's for liability reasons. It's for the girl's safety.
But JoJo, you never make out with the guy?
It's gotten.
How far has it gotten? Little titty feel?
I almost fired her once
Really?
for
I was new. I didn't know.
What'd you do? You went down on the guy?
Things.
What'd you do with the guy? What
Did you
was the...
fucking go down on him?
I did things that he was really hot, and the client said she was done.
Right.
So that was game.
Well,
You
that's
know
what
I mean?
That's what I'll get from my clients.
One of my first jobs.
One of your
I
first
didn't know.
jobs. You meet the guy at the bar. You didn't know that you're not supposed to do anything.
Well, because I up until the point where if the client was still on it, if his wife was still on, of course I'm not going to go there. But she was like saying
What
that
happened?
she was done.
You went to a bar.
Yeah, and then I went back to his room.
You went back to his room.
Yeah.
Did you go all the way with him?
Almost.
He put his finger inside of you?
Almost.
Almost.
Things happened.
Blowjob.
We both were satisfied.
You both went down on each other.
Kinda.
And he didn't want to bang you?
I didn't want to go that far.
No kidding.
I'm really a good girl.
And what pissed me off is that I usually don't rig her up with the hidden camera. Right. I usually have the hidden camera on me, and that I didn't get to actually witness this before I almost fired her ass.
Now, what is the... Okay, 60% of married men or men in relationships cheat on their woman. But with women, I figure it's lower, right?
It's starting to grow, believe it or not. My business, and I've been starting to track it lately and check all my cases and track the numbers. Women are working more. They're out in the work field. They're traveling. They're going away. And it's just normal for them to start cheating more. They're not getting it at home good enough, and they look for a little attention, and you send someone like John in.
Johnny boy, you're a good-looking guy. What's your background? You a cop or something?
No, God, no. I've been on the other side of the law a few times. Mark found me after doing a show
What'd you do? What'd you do to get on the other side of the law?
I've got a whole bunch of assault and batteries and then driving thing, but nothing bad. No, I used to bounce for years, so, you smack around a drunk that's caused a problem, they press charges,
Let's rephrase that. Everything that was dismissed.
Yeah, everything's dismissed.
You were cleared of all
Everything's been dismissed.
or else I wouldn't use him, but I found him on Tool Academy. I saw him on VH1 on Tool Academy, and
What's
I said...
Tool Academy?
It's a show where girlfriends sign up to boyfriends because they're lying, cheating pieces of shit.
Right, okay.
I'm not lying, cheating piece of shit.
So what happens? You go out to a bar, a lot of these chicks good-looking chicks? I guess it's guys with good-looking wives.
I mean, it's a pretty vast mix, We got some 8s, some 7s, and then we got some 3 woofers,
Right. So you go in there, you sit, you strike up a conversation with them, and how many women actually proposition you?
I'd probably say pretty damn near close to half, if not a little more.
No kidding. So so the rate's going up. In other words, there's a lot of women cheating on their men.
Yeah, a lot of middle-aged women.
Are most guys shocked when they find out that their wives are cheating on them? Do most of them think, I don't think... I mean, guess if they call you, they're suspicious.
Most of them know before they hire me. They just like to self-torture themselves even more.
They like confirmation.
They like the confirmation. They like to torture themselves. Recently, within the last, I'd say about a year ago, John and I went to an island to perform a job, and his job was to hit on this beautiful young woman, and it was a couples resort.
Right.
And we're there together.
Right.
And we had to kind of confirm that we weren't doing each other to try to get the girl to even remotely look at him like we weren't gay. We went to a restaurant and they asked if we wanted a wine list.
Skip the wine. We're going right to the blowjobs.
Right.
So what happened? So let's say you make the approach, right? You make the approach on this woman. She's hot, right?
Yep.
All right. And she's a married woman. And what do you do?
Her partner's right there.
How do you make the approach?
Well, no. In certain situations, usually the partner's not there. Usually it's like a girls' night out or a trip away.
Of course.
I spend a brief amount of time just kind of getting to know them, see what their style is, see what they like. Some people like the big douchebag thing that I can put on. Other people like the slow, strong, silent type. And other people like a little scared little bitch. So I kind of do the impromptu eye contact, kind of wink and smile a little.
So in this particular situation that you're talking about with this good-looking chick, you walked up and you say what? What's the line that you say to them to sort of warm up? I imagine the women...
I'm not gay. That's not my boyfriend over there.
I'm not fucking him tonight. I plan on fucking
No, but you're a good-looking guy and everything, so they're probably open to speaking to you. But at the same point, what do you say to introduce yourself?
Well, this one certain situation, I don't know, stop me if I break any confidentiality, but there were kids involved, so, you talk to the kids, be friendly.
You're like, hey, kids.
How's it going? Want to see my van?
I want to be your
lollipops.
daddy.
I like you kids, and your mom's pretty fucking hot.
I want to tongue punch your dirt star.
That's right. So you go over and you start playing with the kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, like walking by, the kids were in the way, so I kind of like made conversation. Like, I wish you had a pair of floaties like that. High five, stuff like that. And then conversation starts from there.
Then they call the security at the pool and say, this guy's talking
So the
about...
hot broad comes up. What is she, in a bathing suit? She's in a blue bikini?
Yeah, she had a little tiny bikini thing on.
And what do you, in order to entice her, what are you wearing, like a Speedo or something?
No Speedo. I just had a typical bathing suit on,
Right, like the board shorts. That
yeah,
kind
just
of
board shorts. Might have had a tank top, a sleeveless shirt, and maybe the man tits out.
Yeah, man tits are out.
Yeah.
Right, so you go up and say what to her? What do she say? Hey.
Well, I start talking about the kids, and I offered a thing I got at the resort. It was like a toy for the pool and stuff, and we go on from there, and I'm like, I didn't know this was such a family-oriented place. It seems like we're the only single guys down here.
Right.
Are you with someone? You want to go out and grab a drink? And I don't want to get into too much of it. I don't know who listens to the show.
What cute kids you have? Let's fuck.
You know what? I'll say it. They did grab a drink together, and
once they grab the drink together, then you're on to something.
Well, I'm texting back and forth with the client, Howard, so I'm giving the client pretty much a play-by-play. In today's day, you can just constantly communicate with these people.
Sure.
I can send them instant video. I can send them instant photos. I can confirm them because I've had people...
So you text back to the guy, hey, my man John's over at the bar having a drink with your wife.
His hand's on her knee. She tells him that I'm overhearing the conversation. She says she's not married, and she is married.
Wow.
So these are signs. We're also there to download. He's there to download their brain.
Right.
Are they married? Do they have someone at home? And then when they
do
give
they ever
those
get
things,
as far where they say to you, hey, John, I want to take you back to the room, or why don't you come to my room?
Not quite that up front and blunt, but I've had plenty of situations where I knew it could have gone further. I actually don't cheat myself. I have a good girl at home.
When these women are confronted, why are you making a vomit face?
What is that all
What does that mean?
Because he's pussy whipped and he loves his girlfriend. But this is a professional job, and I only allow him to go so far.
All right, but when these women kind of give you the sign where they go, hey, like they put their hand on your knee and this and that, can't they come back and say to their husbands, you know what? I'm touchy-feely. I never would have done anything with this guy. I put my hand on his knee. So fucking what? I wasn't going to go fuck this guy. Don't you need more proof?
Oh, yeah. We get him to suck face. We get him to rub each other. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, you do. So you will kiss these girls.
Damn straight.
I won't have any kind of sexual, skin-on-skin contact.
The kissing can't go on at the bar or at while you're having a drink because the kids are there. The kids are running around.
Particular case. I wouldn't do anything in front of kids. That's kind of fucked up. I don't want to.
So how far do you go with her so that the client actually has proof?
Well, we did a case in Boston recently, John and I, and this particular case, the client insisted on being there.
Right.
So the client was with me, and we were in the back room. I was able to maneuver it so we were in the back room, and we had the hidden video camera. We're watching it. We're watching John perform his act, and then we see him rubbing her, then we see them making out, and the client darted out, started yelling at her, flipping chairs over.
Wow.
So, you know, so I have to be careful liability-wise.
Is the rule now, don't bring the client with you, because if he flips out, which he probably is
you
going to.
got a domestic on your hands,
That's
and I
right.
don't need that.
That's right, and then you're sort of involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you will kiss these girls, you will let them rub up on you and this kind of thing. And once they kiss, that's it. I mean, we can stop. Right? That's
Do you
it.
consider that cheating if your spouse is kissing
someone? If I
someone?
show my wife kissing a guy, that to me, it's over. That's it. We're done.
That's as far as it has to go. Suppose she's entertaining the prospect, but after that, she decides, no, I really love my husband.
I don't give a fuck. It's called self-control. You got to have it from the get-go, you know?
You know, some will call it entrapment, but entrapment legally is a criminal
Bullshit.
act.
It ain't entrapment.
No. Thank
you know what it is?
Thank you.
It's like, hey, man, I want to know. Now, you had a case. I was reading in the notes. You had a case. A guy was going to get married, and he wanted to test to see. He was having an affair.
Yes.
So he was cheating on his wife, but he had a mistress, right?
Yes.
He decided he was going to leave his wife for the mistress.
Yes.
But he said, before I pull the plug, before I do this, how do I know my mistress isn't cheating on me?
Right.
So you brought in Big John.
Yeah, this was this was like a year and a half ago. We
right
did
after
this
the
case.
show, so less than 2 years ago.
And it turns out the mistress was 100% honest and not cheating.
Not cheating.
And he left his wife and he married the mistress.
And he's happily ever after.
Happy success story.
And a lot of people will do it for their own well-being. When you get in your 30s and 40s, you may, it's an investment. It's a lot cheaper to hire an investigator for a few $1,000s than to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a nasty divorce.
Right, absolutely.
Damn straight.
I don't know.
So you think you're doing like a service?
I am a private eye superhero, Robin.
I was always torn on this kind of thing. One of it was like, hey, they're kind of home wreckers. On the other hand, but you know what?
But wait a minute.
Where would a guy go?
Cheating is a home wrecker, not us.
That's right.
Don't expect to not get caught.
I agree with you.
Suppose the guy never gets hits on.
Right.
Gets hit on.
Go ahead.
She goes into the bar and starts hitting on him.
Go ahead.
And he falls for it because, whoa, this never happens to me.
Well, then, hey, come on. Come on. Now,
that's entrapment.
Well,
because this guy wouldn't have done anything. She was a
he doesn't just go in there. I mean, someone's got to be hired. There's got to be suspicion for this woman to be like, okay, you know what? I think my husband's cheating. He doesn't just go in there and go, I bet that guy's cheating. Let's set him up. No, he's hired.
Yeah, but the woman could have suspicion.
I don't do a psychological screening on my clients. If they call and if they say, I think my husband or she, or vice versa.
Well, there is the one thing. There is the one thing you could take the attitude that, you know what? Let's say a lot of people do cheat on their spouse.
Yes.
Is it really our jobs to bust them and let them know? In other words, a lot of people survive cheating. In other words, you go out, you cheat once or twice, and you say, you know what? I did
really
the wrong thing.
value my marriage,
I value my marriage. I've made a mistake, and I'm never doing that again. And they're serious, and they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go into the mix, he's getting a divorce.
That is a problem.
True. JoJo here has been cheated on, so she's kind of like got a vendetta when she goes out there. Like, it's almost like stripping. It's like you're looking at the guy giving you money saying F you, and she wants to nail the bastards because she's been cheated on.
But at the same time, I try to keep that separate. I'm being hired. It's a job. You know what I mean? I'm not yeah, you are a shitbag. Because hey, you know what? If you want to screw around all you want. But if you're hurting someone in the meantime, you shouldn't be doing it.
You know what, JoJo? I know a guy cheated on his wife a couple of times. I happen to know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He cheated a couple of times. He admitted it to me. And he said to me, you know what? It was the biggest mistake of my life. My wife and I have a great marriage now. It's been, and this is a true story. He said, it's like I understand now that I was out of my mind. The best thing I have is at home.
He's lucky to have her to have been patient.
That's right. And he goes, look, she doesn't know.
Oh.
But, I made a mistake, and I love her.
Difference.
So you're saying that everyone should maybe cheat once to realize how good they have it at home?
What if you guys bust a guy And it turns out it was his once or twice time, and his marriage
Once or
would have
twice
survived.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't
You
matter.
kill someone once or twice,
But you know
you're a
what?
murderer.
You know what, Howard? By the time they call my agency on the Mark Investigations in Brockton, Mass.
All right, fair enough.
They usually know. They usually hack into the computer. They usually find something. There's usually suspicion that leads up.
Do people that you're hitting on ever realize what's going on? The guy goes, "Wait a second. I am an ugly mother. I am an ugly motherfucker."
It's never.
No one
it's
ever
never.
hits on
It's
me.
never happened. And JoJo's a beautiful girl, but I have sent girls in that look like Jenna Jameson or whatever.
Right.
And they'll be like, something doesn't add up here. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what's wrong with this
You ain't
picture?
not
I'm
me.
short, fat, and dumpy, and why is a girl with large breasts?
You're saying
hitting on me?
JoJo looks like a girl that, while she's beautiful, she looks like a girl that maybe would hit on a guy. She fits a certain type.
She's my #1 girl. She's she's.
Because I can go either way. I don't have the chest, but I mean, I can go either way.
Well, she's got a great
You
ass.
look very nice. John, what about you? You're an extremely handsome man. Do any of these ladies go, wait a second, this fucking guy is
Again, Mark gives me a lot of details about the women. I know how to dress. I know the demeanor to have. And no, I mean, I'm not fucking... Who's that soccer player douche with the Spice Girl there? David Beckham. I'm not David Beckham, you know?
You shave your balls and your bush?
Everything but my arms and legs. If you want to see my balloon knock, get Richard Christie in here. I'll show it.
I don't want to see it.
I'll be honest.
Do you ever have to kiss ugly chicks? I mean, real heinous-looking wives?
Not real heinous, but I've had some, like, 6s. I prefer 8s are better, but
Right,
I'll
sure.
I'll play a little Tonsi hockey with a 6 for a bonus.
If they're real heinous, just like the Jenna Jameson type, I won't send John in because he's almost too good looking.
What's it cost
too
me to
tall.
find out if my wife is a cheat?
You know, it all depends. If you want to send us away, for 3 or 4 days and you got to do a lot of prep work, it could cost anywhere, up to, $10,000.
Right.
You're paying for his vacation,
Goddamn
and he
right.
gets to hit on your wife. Oh
Probably
my
fucking my wife.
Can I say this?
Whatever.
Nice wedding gift.
Since you're giving all them compliments, I am also the fallback guy. So if they don't like him, then I will switch up and give it an opportunity. And my wife has allowed me to suck face and suck face only.
You're the beefcake, huh?
Yes.
All right. Well, listen, this is a wild topic. Some people might think you're a cock-sucking fuck, and other people might see you as a service that is very much needed. Which is it?
Do they just, is it mostly when the girls go on these girly vacations that you get hired?
Yes.
Because girls stick up for girls. There's a girl code like there's a guy code.
Uh-huh.
And, it's happened a few times, you know. And lots of it happens in your local bar, your local restaurant, your local wherever they're going to be.
You also do other kinds of
Yes, sir.
investigations. What the fuck is a paranormal investigation?
What?
You've never found
me a
any...
break.
You don't do that, do you?
Do you
you know
have those
what?
special machines? Are you a Ghostbuster?
I'll be honest with you.
People call you guys?
I'll be honest with you. I promote it on my website, and if I get calls, I subcontract that out.
Right.
My company, we do a lot of we debug houses.
Right.
I have a ton of people that are legitimately, professional crazy people who think that there's bugs in their house, so we'll go in and sweep a house.
So you do a lot of different services.
I do everything.
You were hired by the Church of Scientology, right?
I was in my.
Why?
There's a chapter in the book, and I met them about 12 years ago, and they hired me just to do background work, to do investigative work on.
In other words, if I am a person who criticizes the Church of Scientology,
they would hire someone like me to find everything that you could think of about you. Surveillance, pull trash.
Why? Why are they so paranoid? They have a successful operation.
You know, it's weird.
Who are they looking for?
It's
right.
You know what? It's weird. A lot of them are ex-members, and I can't say anything bad about them because they've never handed me pamphlets. They've never tried to force me to go in that direction. I was an outside contractor. I said, hey, look, as long as the money's green, as long as it's ethical. But I did have to go through the whole E-meter test before I started doing work for them.
Really?
Right.
It was like something my third grader made with like 2 toilet paper rolls, and they asked if I was a secret spy.
Why not hire someone within Scientology? Why would they risk a guy like you who's a loudmouth going around?
Who's
going to
go on Howard Stern and talk about it 10 years later?
Hire someone from within.
But you know what? Because I have nothing bad to say about them. They're actually nice people. They've been good to me. They were a good client.
What do you find out about the people who criticize Scientology? Probably
just
nothing.
Anything. You just gather intel. Knowledge is power.
And so, what are they looking for?
Care?
They want to discredit the person.
In case it goes into litigation. You know, there are a lot of ex-members that are out there to...
You said while you were there...
Yes.
Tom Cruise walks through a secret passageway and then appears in rooms.
Maybe he just walks through walls.
Why is that? Why? What do you mean a secret passageway?
I was out at. Oh gosh!
The Celebrity
I'm going to be getting. You know what? Someone's going to be watching me now, Howard. I was at the Celebrity Center in L.A. many years ago, and they said he came through his private secret entrance. I didn't see it. I didn't know if it was like a bat cave or anything.
Right.
And he came by. And he had a Yankees hat on. I had a Sox hat on. He said hi to me. He seemed genuine, and he was going to study.
What is the secret entrance? So no one will see him. No one can behold him.
I guess. Right. I have no clue.
Right.
He was going to study.
Study what?
He was continuing education.
Do you think at this point he knows everything?
Continuing it. I don't know him personally. I've never done work for him personally, but I was out there on a job.
Now the Scientology Church doesn't use you anymore. Is that?
I haven't done work for them in about 6-7 years. They're nice people.
Do you think they weren't satisfied with your work?
No, I think they've just suffered from recession, and I think what they do is they rotate a lot of different people. It's time to move on with someone else. I already did great work. I did great work. I was the best trash picker in the fucking U.S.
Yes, and you would find out things. What kinds of things would you find out? What type of girls they like? What type of guys they like?
You know what I would.
Would you find out if they were, say, homosexuals, and then report that to the Church of Scientology?
I would just gather the intel, Howard,
What's the
and
intel?
I would
What
give
are we
it
looking
back.
for?
Post-its, letters, envelopes, addresses. Banana peels.
Did
throw
you ever
out.
wonder what they were doing with that material? Did you worry that perhaps they might be using it to discredit a guy or to frame a guy or to do something like that?
You know what? That's again, I wasn't doing anything illegal. Pulling trash is legal if it's on a curbside. If you go into a dumpster, it's trespassing. It's illegal.
Right.
So I'm performing my job as a professional investigator to get the trash. I'm performing my job as.
Do you ever turn down a case because you think it's immoral?
The only case I really turned down recently was a woman who thought that someone implanted a listening device in her brain, and she wanted to know if I could sweep her head.
All right, she's obviously a schizophrenic.
Yeah, I get a lot. But she said she worked for the state, which...
Have you ever been hired by a politician to find out what his opponent is doing?
All the time.
All the time. Goes on all the time. They didn't learn from Watergate. They didn't learn from Nixon.
All the time. Local politicians, reps, senators,
what do they
want
to know?
Just anything that they can find out on them.
They want to find out any kind of scandal, right? So they can discredit their opponent.
Yeah. I ran for office back in 2004 myself, and I lost. And my opponent afterwards thanked me for, not investigating her. I said, you know what? I wouldn't have wanted you to do it to me.
Chico, you're on the air. You're on with Mark, Mark's Private Investigation Services, or go to purchase his book, Happens All the Time, Cheating in the Good Old USA. Go to onthemark.com, onthemark.com.
On-the-mark.
On-themark.com. Okay, Chico, you're on the air.
Hey now.
Hey now.
This guy's a fucking douchebag. Take a fucking bat right to his head.
Hey, man.
You get fucking paid to ruin people's lives. Mind your fucking business.
Bring it on, man. I'll be your next fight. You'll be my next fight in the cage.
What?
I said, bring it on. You'll be my next fight in the cage.
Dude, I'd love to, tough guy. Be careful what you wish for.
Tough guy. Tough guy's calling the radio shows there, Chico. What kind of name is that? Are you a dog, you fucking scumbag?
What's the matter?
Dude, I will fucking rape your wife's asshole right in front of you and then choke out your golden retriever, you fucking scumbag lowlife. Get a fucking job.
No wonder you have an anger issue.
I'm telling you. These fucking douchebags calling the radio shows talking tough. What a fucking pussy. I pull up front, you fucking scumbag.
You know what? I will say...
Sucking a black cock, pussy?
All right,
I love sucking black cock, your mothers.
I will say, Howard, that...
It always comes down to black cock.
Yeah.
And your mother.
I run my agency. Can I speak? Can I speak, Chico? I run my agency in a very professional way. I don't do anything illegal. You know what? If you ethically think it's a crime, that's not for me. I get hired for a service. I do it legal. I have legal people that work with me. I do legal work. I don't. I walk the fine line like a gumshoe.
All right, Chico.
It doesn't mean that you're not a douchebag for what you're doing. Mind your fucking business.
If you cheat, you're a douchebag for what you're doing.
There's no reason to put the bait out there and fucking ruin people's fucking lives.
Did you get caught? Did you get caught?
Chico got caught cheating, man.
Yeah. Chico and the man?
What's that?
I said, was it Chico and the man?
How come Chico's phone connection is so low?
Because he's poor.
You don't think he's paying his phone bill?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's got one of those government-paid
No,
cell
you see,
phones.
I work for my money. I don't ruin people's lives like you scumbag.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Chico. Well, what about your extremely low voice, John? Does that ever freak women out?
That's from all that black cock Chico said I suck. It's high protein levels. I've had this voice since 7th grade. I haven't been able to date. I've had buddies' fathers in middle school that thought I was a drug dealer calling the house and I couldn't talk to them.
Well, let me just say thank you guys for coming in.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
For more information on Mark's private investigation services or to purchase his book, Happens All the Time, Cheating in the Good Old USA, go to on-themark.com. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much for having us.
It always gets people worked up, doesn't it?
Thank you very much.
It always does, man. Thanks.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
All right.
Can we take a photo
surprise
before
no
we
career
leave,
in
Howard? Is that all
Hey,
right?
nice to meet you.
Can we take a photo for you?
Sure.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for coming.
John, can you go get your phone so we can take some photos?
Yeah, you look handsome, man.
You look great. Thank you.
Did my wife send you?
Yeah.
Did my wife send him?
Yeah, right.
Mark.
Yes.
So that went well. I mean, you got your word out for sure.
I got my word out. I'm a little nervous about what the backlash is going to be when I get back with the state police that license me and the Church of Scientology and all that shit. But you know what? I guess you get to take risks in life.
Well, I was going to say, on one hand, you're looking to promote, you're looking to get the word out about your business, but at the same time, you're a private investigator, so it's something you have to keep kind of secretive. How do you walk that line? How do you...
People are fucking dumb, that's why. They got no clue. You know what I mean? I could talk to someone and 5 minutes later be watching them, and people are oblivious.
So they're not
Plus, I put fake mustaches on.
They're not going to read
I can't grow one, so I put a fake one on. I'm 42 and I can't even grow a beard. So
decoys, are you worried at all that this exposure is going to lead to people knowing who you are and...
No,
like
it should be
says,
fine. We change our looks, we do things. I'm busy undressing Lisa with my eyes right now. So I've had
Lisa.
with her for about a decade now. So
Really?
It's the glasses, the hair, the whole.
I know, and I'm part of
figure.
our custodian, too.
He was just saying he loves the glasses.
Need him.
Oh, need them, huh?
Howard and us.
Interesting.
Because I want him to send it.
Lisa, are you feeling the mutual love here? Is this the type of man you're
It's
looking
that
for?
voice. It's like what Howard said.
See, I'm more of a normal, average guy. I'm more obtainable.
Could have a cheeseburger or filet mignon. Let's choose there.
And I'm 10 years older than
I'll be the French fries.
So you guys can change up your look. You can adapt and make yourself.
We have a whole
like he
different
says,
ball.
He gets down on his hands and knees, and he's a 5'6" guy.
Yeah, and then check this out. Watch. This is hilarious.
Oh wow!
You know, shoes make a big difference.
So there's all sorts of tricks involved to keep yourselves anonymous and conspicuous. Cool. Well, thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything.
Great time.
Thank you.
Hey, by the way, I didn't even mention, did you hear that Larry King stopped by the wrap-up show the other day for 2 seconds? He was in the building doing a bunch of serious satellite meetings, not meetings, but talk shows. And he walked by the wrap-up show for 2 seconds.
I didn't know that.
Well, there was only 3 minutes left in the wrap-up show, which I don't even understand. I've said to Tim, if the wrap-up show has something cool going on, why do they have to end it exactly on time? And then he said something has to do with the computer and the scheduling of the shows, that you have to end completely on the hour.
But we didn't have to.
No, I don't know why. If Larry King's there, the guys wanted to keep going with him because it was sort of fun. And I don't know. My philosophy has always been, if something good is going on, let it keep going. Who cares? If the guys want to sit there and talk to Larry King, let them. I wonder what's going on there with this. It's called a profit system in the computer, and all of our shows after we do them live have to go into the computer system because we replay them, and in the replays they have to end on the hour. And I'm like, why? Who cares? I don't even care if a show ends on the hour. What? I mean, our show.
Somebody made up that rule, and Tim's sticking to it.
I think Tim made up the rule, and Tim's sticking to it. Tim here or no, Gary? Why do you guys have to end exactly at 11 o'clock? Larry King's there. You're sitting there. You're having a good time. Go for a half hour. Go for an hour.
I don't think Tim's in yet. I'm calling now.
Yeah.
It may be the only thing he can control.
Yeah, he's got to let go of that. Have you ever been given an explanation, or John?
We have permission to go over now. John just told me.
Is that right?
Yeah, but it won't come up for another year. I even said to somebody that day, "Can we keep going?" And they sort of shook me off.
Who's they?
I might have asked like Jim or somebody.
Oh.
So now we got to wait for Larry King, like Haley's Comet, to show up again.
The rule is if you're in there, we can go as long as we want to go.
Yeah.
If you come in.
Okay.
Other than that.
Well, who made that rule?
Tim.
But why? What's the thinking behind it?
My understanding is the show has to end because of the rest of the schedule and
But
everything.
what is
has
the
to run on
schedule? They
time.
just rerun our show.
Yeah, the replay starts at, I guess we're done by 11, so at 11 o'clock, the replay has to start, and then it affects the rest of the day. I don't know.
Yeah, but let's say they replay our show, and you guys finish at 11:20, and they start the shows at 11:30. Who gives a fuck? I mean, no one's sitting there going, oh, man, they didn't start at the top of the hour with the shows.
We're going to miss the next show.
Yeah, I mean,
it is the same show.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the. I would love to know what his thought process is in that.
That's Tim. You got to ask him. But
Tim has this move whenever I ask him something. Of course, he goes, I brought it up to you, and you told me you wanted it this way. And
That's exactly what he said about that, Howard.
No, I've never once said that, ever. What you know me? I'm the guy who used to go to. On terrestrial radio, I would go over. And I'd say, who cares? Let me sit here all day. I'm the only one getting ratings. Why are you in a rush to play music? I mean, so... He always blames it on me, Tim. And I know listen, my whole philosophy in radio is you don't need a schedule. Hey, Tim, how come we have to end the wrap-up show if Larry King walks in?
Well, I told John, I says, if you guys wanted to go, you could have gone. And he says, well, don't we end at the top of the hour? So we discussed it. And they just decided, they didn't even ask me. I was in the room, so.
Right. No, but I'm saying.
You weren't. And Jim, I asked Jim, I said, can we keep going? And he sort of shook his head.
Yeah,
you weren't in the room.
Yes, I was in the room. I was standing right there with Larry King. I was looking at him.
Oh, so you said you weren't in the room.
I was in the room.
So, Gary, you asked and Tim shook his head no?
JD's yelling Tim wasn't in the room either. If Tim
I was
in the room,
I was
we were unaware because the room was crowded that day.
I patted Larry King on the back on the way out. I says, thanks for stopping by. And if you guys wanted to go, you could have went. There's no problem with that. The thing is that we like.
You've always told me there's a problem.
Well, we like to end the show at the top of the hour, you know, so because it fits in. When we did 6-hour blocks from 6 a.m. until till noon,
right?
You know, that block would replay from noon until 6, from 6 to midnight to 6 a.m.
Who cares?
Well, it just because of the spots and everything else that had to run within it.
Oh. Well, okay, from now on, what's the rule? The boys can go as long as they want?
They can go as long as they want. Sure.
Okay, good.
They can end. They should end at the top of the hour if they can. It makes life much easier. But if there's something there that they can go longer.
Makes it easier to put the stuff in the computer.
Exactly. And the other thing is that you and I had a conversation about that.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Remember the wrap-up show?
Yeah, I remember it just like it was yesterday. Okay, what's the conversation? He always does this to me.
It's
true.
We
had a conversation about this, and you told me.
You told me. Remember, you wanted the wrap-up show to go. It's like an hour-long show.
Right.
And that,
And if something is going on, let them go.
Right. Well, that's what we'll do.
Yeah. But I didn't have any conversation about this.
No, we talked about the 1 hour.
Okay. No,
we did.
Don't you remember the conversation where I said, let it run as long as it wants? You were there. Don't you remember that? This is what you do. Don't you remember that conversation?
No, you and I talked about it.
Don't you remember when you and I had a conversation?
I
said, let it
remember,
run
exactly.
Okay, there you go.
Good. Okay, good. We're even.
Tim. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're losing weight again, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. What are you doing this time? No green drink?
No, green drinks.
You're doing green drink?
Yeah, Robin and I started the detox yesterday.
Yep.
No ayahuasca?
No, thank you.
Ayahuasca?
No ayahuasca, no ayahuasca.
No.
You know.
Oh, you're doing green drink, huh?
Yeah.
And what else? Because you always change.
But I do like a salad. I don't do like total, but I do like a salad or something like that, just so. But I watch what I eat.
Yeah.
No more carbs.
Right.
Crap.
Carbs aren't the problem, dude.
Well,
vegetables are
It's
carbs.
a combination of exercise and putting the right food in your system. But the more green you put into your system, the better. The more oxygen you put in your body, it pushes out all the impurities. You feel better. You have more energy. You think clear. You sleep better.
All right. I'm getting woozy.
Again, vegetables are carbohydrates.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can talk to Tim afterwards about that. Explain it to him again.
Robin, I tried calling you twice last night, by the way.
I tried to call you back, by the way.
Yeah. And Tim's on fire. Tim once, what was Tim's quote once? Food doesn't control him. He controls food. I think you taught him that.
No, he came up with that on his own.
Yeah.
I never declared him not under the control of food.
Nothing that wacky came out of your mouth.
Cookies are my weakness. I now have the tools in order to take the weight off.
I think food gained control again.
Well, like I said, I never declared him. He decided that on his own.
But he looks good.
You're unable to do the lifestyle, you can't take the job.
Right. Sometimes Tim talks so fast and gets all charged up that, you don't know what he's saying. He comes out with all those things.
Your point is valid and well taken.
Right.
Timitudes.
Right.
There's so many projects and initiatives going on around these channels.
Timisms. Tim. I do like that guy. Tim.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. Why would you name a kid Tim? Although, what do you name a kid? Timothy. What do you name a kid? Where the hell does that come from? Timothy.
Oh, they were talking about
yeah.
Mariah Carey's kids' names on The View, and it's
Yeah.
Moroccan was where
they decorated.
it is a room in her house. It's the Moroccan room, but that's where Nick proposed to her.
Oh, so the kid's got to be stuck with that shitty name,
Right.
Moroccan.
Yeah.
Mm. Hey, Wally, you're on the air.
Good morning, Howard.
Hey, now.
I was really upset that they were ending the show like that on Larry King. 3 minutes in, Larry's just giving off this whole itinerary of what he's doing and where he's going to be appearing. It was hilarious. He's like, Boston, L.A.,
Yeah.
England, guacamole. I'm like,
I know, I heard. I'll play it. Did you hear it, Robin?
No.
Yeah, it was really good, and then I wanted it to keep going, and then all of a sudden the rule came up. And I said, who made this rule that the guys can't keep going? Go. I don't mind. I mean, listen, you don't want them droning on for 4 hours, but if they got something cool happening, let it go.
that was an unusual circumstance.
That's right. I'm telling you, I had nothing to do with that. I'm the guy who says break the rule. There's no rule.
Content is king.
Content is king. Thank you. All right.
Howard, he had no idea that anybody that was in there in the wrap-up show worked for you. He's like, who are all these guys? I assume they're all fans?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
All right, I'll play it.
Thanks for taking my call, Howard.
It's real quick, actually. He's only on for like 3.5 minutes.
He doesn't. What do you mean he doesn't know?
Oh,
He
man.
doesn't know he's on Howard 100.
Well,
He knew.
He just, who knows what he knows.
Here's what they told him. They said, would you like to go do, this is the wrap-up show after Howard's show. And he said, is Howard going to be in there? And they said, no, and then he came in.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he tells Gary afterwards he'd be happy to do our show that we don't ask. But meanwhile, we've called his publicist.
A million times,
they
I'm
don't-
sure.
They don't want to. Listen, probably rightly so. Here's the wrap-up show where Larry King walked in.
Larry, come on over to this microphone. Larry King stopped by. How you doing, Larry? Come right over to this microphone.
Wow. How many hosts?
Just two hosts.
Just us.
And a lot of
Don't
guests.
worry, I'm leaving.
That's Howard's limo driver, who's also got 100-something thousand Twitter followers.
Oh.
He only has 80-some thousand.
So, Larry.
How is Howard?
He's good. How come you never come by and do the show?
I'm never asked. How's his interpreter?
He's good. We'd always love to have you on the show.
How we do, Howard? I've got nothing against Howard.
Good. We'd love to have you. What are you promoting?
How old is he at this point?
It's hard to track his age as
All
much
right.
as it is his marriages.
The thing about him that's noticeable when you see him in person is he can't weigh more than 100 pounds.
Yeah, he's like an elf. He's like from Middle Earth.
Yeah, he's like a hobbit.
It says here 77.
Okay.
That's how old he is, but he looks older, honestly.
He's always looked older than 77.
Yeah.
I don't recall him ever looking 77.
So he somehow he keeps saying through this interview that he's a stand-up comedian now, but then when you question him more, it turns out he's not really a stand-up comedian. It sounds like he tells stories about his life. Well, I don't know. It's not quite stand-up comedy with like jokes, but he talks about his life when he does these shows, and he can't sit still. He didn't want to give up that CNN show.
No, he was forced out.
And quite frankly, I'm sure if the boys had him there longer, they would have said, don't you feel sort of vindicated? Because I think the ratings were actually higher with Larry than they are with Piers Morgan.
And aren't they bringing Larry back for some kind of a special already?
Maybe, I don't know.
I heard a promo for that.
But now, because he can't sit still, he's going out doing a stand-up tour. And I thought it was a joke. He goes like, I just got back from Lisbon, and I guess because CNN's heard all over the world, he has some sort of audience in every country.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing a comedy tour.
Stand-up comedy?
Yeah. I've always done conventions and things, and now when I kind of semi-retired, am I on? Because I don't hear myself.
Yeah, you're on.
Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, that's a high. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he loves his voice.
Yeah.
Listen to him.
Oh, thank you.
Let me just talk for a while.
How many cities you doing?
Oh, I got a list here. I'm doing. I start this Saturday in Borgata in Atlantic City, and then the Wilbur in Boston, and then Biloxi, Reno, Las Vegas, Chandler, Arizona, Reykjavik, Iceland, Stockholm, Sweden, Bergen, Norway.
When he said Reykjavik, Iceland, I thought, oh, he's making a joke. Maybe he is funny, but he wasn't making a joke.
No, he's really going there.
It's Larry King in Iceland. Good. I don't even know how you say hello in Iceland.
Are you really going to Reykjavik?
Yeah. Wow. Copenhagen, Munich, London, Morristown, New Jersey, Westbury Music Theater, Ottawa, Toronto, Santa Rosa, California, Newport News, Virginia, Tampa, Naples, West Palm Beach.
And when you stopped doing the CNN show, did you know you were going to do stand-up? Did you want to do something, or did you think you were done?
I actually want to go to the show. What the fuck could he be talking about? I mean,
Isn't it true?
Yeah.
Or are these just fairy tales that he's making up?
I don't know. Like, he comes out on stage and starts talking about what?
I mean, he's not going to tell you the real stories of his life about how
Right.
he married 8 women.
I fucked this one, and the first night I met her, I fucked her.
And had a gambling problem and all of that. So he
Yeah.
must be making up some stories.
Don't you have a feeling it might be like the Charlie Sheen tour, like sort of nobody knows what's going to happen that night?
Well,
and then like within 5 minutes you go to, does anyone have a question? Winning.
I actually imagine he's put some thought into it.
You think?
My nephew is Scott Zeiger. He's a big Broadway producer, and he's often seen me speak at conventions. And he says, geez, you're funny. Why don't we put together where you do stand-up? And they worked on this show. We got a producer and everything. And I go on stage. It's about 80 minutes of stories. It's all funny. I don't do anything serious. But I do. Last Thursday, I was in Portugal. I spoke at a big conference. I just did funny stuff.
But is it more like a stand-up comedy show? Or is it more like stories of your life and you're funny?
Correct. It's stories of my life. If there's a similar thing, it would be like Billy Crystal's 700 Sundays. I get up, stories of childhood, stories of broadcasting off the air.
Amazing. He's already in that category of Billy Crystal.
Yeah, he's right up there.
Yeah.
On the air stories of
That's some rarefied air. This must be some show.
family stories, funny stories.
So after many years broadcasting, you finally decided to give it up.
Yeah.
Howard's been doing it forever. Do you think Howard will continue to do it? And
I remember
we do know I'm going to continue for 5
when
years.
have you talked to Larry King?
I don't know.
Why is he asking?
But Larry does have an answer.
When Howard was in Washington. How old is Howard now?
57 years old.
So he's been in how long?
He's been doing this at least 34 years, something like that.
Okay. I started in 57. How many years is that? 54 years.
Right.
That's a lot of years. So I'm 77.
He wins.
What does that got to do with anything? We're doing math.
I think he feels competitive with me. He goes, well, I've done it 54 years. Howard's only done it 34 years.
Think how tired
When I
of it?
was 57, I never thought I'd leave. 57.
Do you miss it?
I got ties older than that.
Do you miss it?
I miss it when there's a story like Osama bin Laden is killed, and I miss it when a terror-agedy happens in Japan. But
That's a new word.
Terror-agedy.
Terror-agedy.
I don't miss it when a prince is getting married. Who cares?
Yeah, he doesn't miss broadcasting when those princes get married, and I don't blame him.
Well, he's had so many marriages. Marriage can't possibly excite him.
Can't be interesting.
I don't want Kardashians. I could do without. You know how I describe it. I got mixed emotions. I feel I want to do it so bad one day, and then one day I don't miss it at all. It's like watching your mother-in-law go over the cliff in your new car.
Are you keeping tabs on how Piers is doing over there?
I watch Piers occasionally. He's okay. I think I like Piers. It's very different from me, and actually, it's hard. I'm a poor judge of it because I try. It's hard to be objective.
All right. Unfortunately, we got to wrap up today's wrap-up
That's
show.
it. That's the wrap-up.
That's it. We're done. We're out.
So all of you are like Howard Sternites, right?
Yes.
You follow him.
We do.
He's your
We
leader.
work for him.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah, I understood the audience's frustration because I was frustrated too. I was like, oh, hey, this is kind of interesting. Let's keep going. This could get to some good stuff. And then what else do we have to do? We have a whole fucking empty day. So.
He had his first special on CNN on May 1st.
Oh, he did? Okay. Yeah. So that was that. But a little.
It's just a shame. That's an opportunity you don't get all the time.
Although you never know. Maybe it would have gone downhill from there and you would have.
We'll never know.
That's right.
I was going to work my way to, have you ever heard your wife on the show? And that would have been weird, but that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, no, that would have been a good question. Too bad Well, now you know. Just go. Just do your show. You don't have to end it directly at 11 if you have something big going on. Yesterday it was a pretty good wrap-up show you guys did yesterday when Benji was arguing with Ronnie. I was listening to that. That was pretty good.
I heard they aren't speaking.
There's something going on between.
Well, Ronnie's like a big baby. I was listening to it. He was like, Benji. First, well, it's not that Ronnie's a big baby. The two of them together are just not.
It's two big babies.
Yeah. Benji is just genuinely odd, and a lot of us do think that some of the oddness is put on. And I guess what happened was, Ronnie stands in the hall, and he's there to make sure there's no nonsense and that everything's cool. And when a guest comes in, he pats them down, make sure they're not fucking crazy. And so he gets to see a lot of what Benji's up to, and Benji's weird.
Yes.
But we're not sure if Benji's weird intentionally because he's looking for attention and he wants to be like an Andy Kaufman, or maybe he's just genuinely weird. And then when Ronnie calls Benji out on stuff, Benji gets all freaked out. And you don't know if that's for real. The whole thing's combustible. So the other day, Benji was coming in, and because he's had that issue with me that he's been late where I'm going to fire him, he's now decided that when he swipes his card when he comes in, because we have key cards, when he swipes his card, it's good because then he can be on record as having been here.
I was wondering why he did that because, there have been times when I come in like either just before him or whatever, and I swipe it and the door's clearly open and he stands there and he does a reswipe.
Yeah, well, that was what happened. So Benji did the reswipe thing while the door was open. People were holding the door for him and he stood there and reswiped. And Ronnie was like, what are you doing? And then he started off with this explanation about how he wants to be seen as on time. And Ronnie says, that's ridiculous. Why don't you do that out where we aren't? There's another key card position where you could be swiping all you want and none of us would see it. You're doing it because you want to be noticed. And then they got into a whole argument.
This morning, he comes in and Fred holds...
And it's just funny to hear Ronnie argue with that Queens or New York accent, whatever accent that is. I don't even know. It's the most severe New York accent I ever heard.
He's crippled.
Yeah, and then he starts yelling over Benji. It's entertaining as hell.
So this morning, he comes in and Fred holds the door for me. He doesn't have to put his card there, but he's standing there, keeps putting the card there. For like a shtick thing. So
no, it wasn't. I'll give you an exact explanation of what happened.
Don't say it to me because it's got nothing to do with me.
So this is what upset
the
Ronnie.
security people said, "What the fuck is wrong?"
And
with
I will
this
explain
guy?
what happened because I've had a reputation of being late. And I've said before, you guys accuse me of being late. I always want there to be a record of when I come in. That's why
there would be a record on the other door.
But Ronnie, I swear on my life, that was exactly what's going through my head.
So the conversation starts escalating, and before you know it, neither one of them know what they're talking about. And
I was like, well, this is pretty innocuous.
No,
How could this turn into a fight?
But like Benji's like, well, why are you so angry about this? So what if I swipe the door? And Ronnie's like, it's you, and I don't care. It's just weird. And then Benji goes, well, if you don't care, why the hell are you yelling so much?
I checked in.
Okay, great, but you could have done it on that door where you wouldn't, where you weren't.
That's not
where
what,
people who don't know
Ronnie,
you,
I
Benji,
wasn't doing
people
it for,
who don't know you think you're out of your fucking mind. This is what I'm trying to tell you. But you don't believe me.
Okay, but you're saying because I wanted to check in my card, in effect.
And I think Ronnie's trying to be me on the air, like where he berates Benji, maybe.
You think?
And yeah, well, that's what it sounds like. Because really, why does Ronnie care?
Lock in. Maybe people did think I was crazy, but you're angry about that.
But you
I wasn't doing it.
I don't care. It had nothing to do with me. I'm just telling you what people said to me after you walked by.
So you have emotion about that.
You could have clocked in on the other door, and they never would have seen it.
That wasn't in my. Ronnie,
okay, that's what I'm saying.
That wasn't in my head.
You made it so everybody saw what was going on.
No, I didn't, Ronnie. That's what you're assuming.
They went at it for a good, I don't know. What was it, 10 minutes, Benji, at least?
Yeah, at least like that.
Yeah.
We've all worked with each other for a long time. Yeah. It's a nice atmosphere. We all enjoy
it. Is. It's great.
You are constantly a dick to me. Constantly. And I'd rather we just didn't talk to each other if you're going to be like that.
Okay, if that's the way you want it, it's fine with me.
No, I'm saying
fine. It's settled. It's settled. We don't have to talk.
Well, you're kind of being a babyish.
No, I'm not. You just said.
No.
What did you just say? You don't want. You'd rather not talk to me. It's fine.
I said we don't have to.
You think I'm going to cry and lose sleep over it? No, I doubt it.
I don't understand why you have to. You go out of your way to be insulting and rude all the time.
Insulting and rude. Okay. Okay, fine.
So where are we at?
I don't have to talk to him.
All right.
That's where we're at.
What's an example of Ronnie being insulting and rude? Going out of his way to do so.
He's always like yelling at me, like when I'm just like I said, walking to the bathroom or something. He's like, "Oh, why you have to do? Why you have to like?" I will try to. If you want me to, I'll keep track of it from the future.
Like he comments on your moves.
It's only I yell at you for no reason.
Well,
None
I'll give
at
you an
all.
example. Like you're yelling at me today about using my key card because you thought
I didn't yell at you. I'm just telling you what people presume of you, pal. That they think you're out of your fucking mind. That's the reputation you have here with everybody in this lobby in the morning.
I'm sure you help it a lot.
No, I don't. I don't have to.
You were yelling at me this morning when I was trying to use my key card. Yes, you were,
Benji,
Ronnie.
I didn't say a friggin'
you
word to you
did.
this morning.
You absolutely
First of all, I wasn't even there. I was walking out
and
as
you started
were coming
yelling
in.
at me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh, maybe there's a video.
No,
of
I
it.
didn't.
You absolutely did.
Oh, I so did. Now you don't have to worry about me yelling at you.
Why?
Believe me, because I won't fucking say another word. You're dead. You're not even there.
Wait, now you're threatening not to yell at me?
It's like Ronnie gets worked up right away. Because like Benji goes, look, if we can't work this out, I'd rather not talk to each other. All right, we're not talking to each other then.
You
Fine.
don't have to worry about a thing.
Yeah. He misses the... It's wild between those two.
90% of the people here, I think I have a good relationship with.
I didn't say I didn't have a good relationship with you, dude. You're the one who's putting it all out there that I don't like you, that I'm on your back all the time. Maybe I'm on, like you said, maybe I'm on your back because I don't want to see you in trouble all the time. Because you used to be in trouble constantly with Howard, and you'd sit there and you'd pull the same shit like you're pulling on me now. That he doesn't like you, that he's talking down to you, all kinds of crap like that.
But I don't like to be. I don't listen.
You don't like authority. That's your problem.
There might be some truth to that, but I don't like you constantly.
You don't like authority, and that's my fucking hallway. I'm sorry. And when you act like an idiot there, I'm going to tell you about it. If you don't like it, it's too bad. I'm sorry.
There you go. Well,
That's great.
There's rules.
Dude.
It's my hallway.
Dude.
You have no idea how people are looking at you. You're crazy as shit.
You know what I have to say? I'm taking Ronnie's side on this.
Yeah.
This is the most sense Ronnie's ever made.
Right. Well, listen, I agree. I don't know why Benji's carrying on with his key card, but who cares? Let him sit there and swipe his key card.
I saw him do that, and I'm like, I don't know why he's doing this.
Yeah.
But whatever.
All right, he has his reason. Let him do it. I don't care.
No, but what Ronnie is saying, he was yelling at Benji, trying to help him out because he was always in trouble.
Right.
And Benji's genuinely weird, and he does strike people as odd.
This is an intervention.
Well, Ronnie's
very
trying
much often is not on the money. He's on the money here.
Well, he's trying to tell him, listen, if you're concerned that you're not connecting with people think you're weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just go, that's Benji.
By the way, Ronnie is as weird as they come, so Ronnie would know.
Maybe that's why he figured this out.
Yeah. Ronnie's got that permanent scowl on his face.
Oh, dear.
Where are you at with Benji now? Like, where is it? You're not talking to him at all? What's your position?
No, I'm talking to him.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, hello. How are you?
That's it.
Yeah.
Just
Boom.
business.
And for his information, the gentleman that was here yesterday when this all went down.
Yeah. The security guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's out there right now. He's here today.
Yeah.
And he just said when Benji walked in this morning, he goes, how come he's not playing with his card again? How come he's not holding the door? How come now he's not wearing his helmet like he does all the time? You know.
I saw that helmet today.
Yeah. He wears it. Like.
Yeah. That's the other weird thing.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you rode your bike here
Would you wear a
and
helmet?
you parked it downstairs,
Right.
wouldn't you take it off when you walked into the building?
All I know is he walked into my thing here today, and I just looked at JD and I go, look, and he looks over at Benji. We both start laughing because Benji's searching for attention because he's wearing this big. He doesn't wear a normal bike helmet. You know those cool bike helmets.
Right.
And he wears like a
thing.
he wears like a skateboarder's helmet.
It
That's
looks
what
like
that is.
it looks like a World War I.
It looks like he's a special needs child.
Yeah, right. He looks retarded in this weird biking helmet that does like no one wears.
Right.
It's just an odd. It looks like, you know, when you play baseball and you put one of those.
It's like a batting helmet.
A batting helmet on.
Except doesn't have a visor.
Cover your ear.
Yeah, and it's just, and I just look
and
over.
a hat besides under it.
Yeah. And so, like, I don't even.
And a turban.
just in case he has to break into character.
Exactly.
So, like, you look over and it's just so odd, and you know it's a cry for attention because, as Ronnie says, any normal person, if you wore a bizarre hat like that, you would take it off and leave it with your bike or just wear it at your side or
Probably
something.
isn't even protection.
Right. No, it looks like a helmet that if he fell, it would fall right off his fucking head.
I have a question for you. The hat he was wearing underneath it, was it the Yankee hat or does he bring a spare hat?
I don't know. Who knows? I don't look like I didn't want to pay. I didn't want to buy into it.
Yeah.
Why don't you take your hat off? Like, I mean, your helmet when you walk, like you're in the building. I don't think there's any chance of you falling and hurting your head.
The elevators are dangerous.
I take it off.
Well, sorry, what?
I take it off when I get to my desk.
Yeah, I know. So everyone can see it. Like, that's not a hat you want to be seen in.
Right.
I could trip over the wastebasket.
Yeah.
But I'm picking on him. I'm
So
on
they-
his back all the time.
So those security guys out there, they're just like, hey.
They think he's out of his mind.
Yeah.
Seriously, ever since he's started here.
Right.
First, it was with coming in late every day and running through the halls like the madman.
Yeah, because nobody does that.
First it was. Then he got in trouble downstairs with trying to jump the thing because he didn't have his card to get in.
Right.
You know, they think he's out of his mind.
Maybe
Totally.
he is.
But it's me. You know, it's always me.
Right.
So whatever.
You think Ronnie doesn't like you, Benj? Or do you think he's just trying to help you?
I don't know if he likes me or not. It's hard to judge. But I know he acts inappropriate to me and mean to me.
Oh, now I'm inappropriate and mean.
Well, in the hall, sometimes I see you give people shit. Are you doing something to him that you?
Only when he's carrying on with his shtick out there. That's
I'll give
all.
an example. Like I try to get. I think what it is.
Like Benji's coffee spill yesterday caused real expensive damage. That
Yes.
cost a lot of money.
Well, it's not the first time for that either.
He's done that before.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
I'm looking at a note here, Howard. It said it moved. It actually made its way over to Fred's board.
Oh, no.
How much
I
damage?
tried to stop it as much as I could.
It just says that they got most of it clean, but they recommend they got to get a cleaning crew in here to clean over some areas and stuff.
Should we ban Benji from drinking over there? Like, or he shouldn't be. Why don't you set up a little table like what JD has, that little dinner tray? Put your coffee on there because you're spilling it on the equipment and it's fucking everything up.
That's a good idea. I'll get a coffee tray.
Right.
I don't know. But I'm picking on him.
Right. He's always doing something that gets everyone's attention.
Like
Yeah.
the other day with the bathroom. You know.
What do you do there?
Well, the sink was broken.
Right.
And everybody knew the sink was broken. But
Right.
he had to call everybody with cameras and everything to show everybody the sink was broken. But I called facilities already and told them they were coming to fix it. Everybody knew they were coming to fix it. But he had to call everybody in to the bathroom to see the sink was broken.
What is the problem in the bathroom?
The sink does not.
Broken.
I
know
didn't.
that.
Ronnie, why do you have to yell at me about
angry.
it? Why can't you? Why do you have to be mean about
Because
it?
you make a whole thing about
Oh,
everything.
oh, wait, you're the guy that comes screaming, and I'm the guy that makes a big thing about it.
I'm on your side of this one. He's fucking angry, that guy.
20 people standing around the bathroom because the sink doesn't work.
So why you gotta get angry about it?
What do you care?
Dude, I really don't know why you're always dicky to me. You're mean to me.
Oh, mean, how mean.
Yeah, you are, Ronnie. You are. I'm nice to you.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I'm mean to you.
You are.
I'm so sorry.
Give him a hug. All right, Ron.
I'm so sorry. I really apologize.
You act dicky to me.
I'm so sorry.
And it hurt. Okay, good.
From my heart, man. I'm sorry.
Ronnie, give him a hug.
Very sorry. Enjoy your watermelon.
I know.
What was that about?
I have no idea.
It's not even funny.
You have to ask him.
Right. What was that about? Why are you doing that?
You know, I don't remember the specific. They did film it so we could see it. I don't know, Ronnie. But it didn't need every single thing I do. You start, and this is what, I'll tell you what gets down to the nugget of it.
Right.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. Well, you're getting down to the nugget of the problem, yes.
So when we were talking yesterday on the wrap-up show, I said, you know what's bugging you so much? And he starts bringing up when I did that horse bit recently on the street.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff makes him angry.
No, it didn't make me angry. All I said was it's amazing you didn't go to jail. That's all I said. Well, it doesn't make me angry. If you go to jail, I could give two shits.
All right, but you seem angry.
No, I'm just saying it's all the
you know what?
It's
in
all
your
the
defense,
wacky.
Benji, everyone thinks you're angry, Ronnie.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, you come off angry.
I don't care. Let him think what they want.
I think you're angry. Like, he drives me around, and I just
And
go,
you're angry too, so you know.
Yeah, but everyone
We're
thinks
all
you're
angry.
angry.
We all have
Yeah,
an angry.
But you're the
angry-
driver.
We all have an angry spot.
When he drives,
Have I ever hit anybody?
No.
The whole time I'm with you?
No.
Have I ever hit anybody?
No.
Okay.
That's not what I'm talking about.
That's
I'm
what
talking
I'm
about you
talking
seem angry
about.
with me.
That's what I'm talking
Like-
about.
like even
you know
when-
you have to be an aggressive driver in the city, and there's no way
I'm not
around
talking
it.
about that. I'm talking about even like when I'll say to you,
But
hey,
you say that you say
let's
I'm
go
angry.
somewhere, and you'll go, ugh.
No, I don't.
You're an angry guy, and like, you come off like you're unapproachable. That's what I think. And I pay you, and I think you're unapproachable.
Okay.
You know?
Howard, you've worked with people that, listen, it's not that big of a deal, but they're constantly like kind of putting you down and kind of dicky to you. And it's not.
That's so not true. You're not going to say, did I do that constantly to you? Oh, I said only when you're pulling bullshit in the hallway.
Well,
or
that
outside.
all the time?
You know what? And the funny part is, like when you pull crap like that goes on outside, or shit that goes on downstairs at the front desk, who do you think gets called? Me.
Although I got to say, Ronnie, your track record, you've given the silent treatment to the following people. J.D., now tell me if I have this right. J.D., Gary at one point, Jason at one point, Robin at one point, Artie at one point, and
Robin?
Benji. Yeah, Robin. You gave her the silent treatment for a while.
When did I give you
I don't recall that.
I do.
She gives me the silent treatment also sometimes.
I never give
Yeah,
you the
like
silent treatment.
I don't know. Something went down one time, and I said to you, "Do you need help with something?" There was shit was going on with Sal and Richard. You
Right.
wanted them to do something at Caroline's, and they backed down on you, and then you were pissed off at everybody. I said, "Can I help you with something with that?" And you go, "Get the fuck away from me! I don't need to talk to you about that."
Right.
I'm just trying. I was just trying to. They were actually.
But if Ronnie is the biggest problem in my life, of him not being nice to me, it's not. I have a pretty good life, so it's not
Benji,
that big of
I'm
a
not
deal.
trying to be mean to you. I said it yesterday. I'm trying to help you in a way, okay? You don't believe it, but I am. Because you're always
trying to straighten you
you're
out.
always in deep shit here in this building.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
He doesn't
really-
even
You have a
know
track
that.
record here. You can go out. I'm telling you, I'll bring people in
Maybe
here.
you can help me in a nicer way than Ronnie.
Okay, I'll be sweet to you. That's just not my nature. I'm sorry. I'm not a sweet person.
He helps through, like, yelling at you.
He berates.
And the shit with JD.
He berates.
I mean,
my dad practiced that.
JD and I we go at shit all the time, and you know what? We're always friends, and we always get along. You know.
All right, very good. Okay, thanks, guys. Now we're a little clear on it. There's Ronnie and Benji.
Dude.
He's so angry.
Dude.
Did you tweet today?
Dude.
Did you tweet yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I put
What'd
up-
you say?
No, I just said.
Any pictures of hot
dude.
guys?
No. Dude, actually, I apologize to the followers today.
Why?
Because the chick that I picked this week, she put up one picture at the beginning of the week, and then she died. Nobody's heard from her.
Right.
So
So now you're stuck.
I'm kind of pissed.
Right.
And so are they. The fans are kind of pissed.
All right. Well, you'll find
They
a new
want to see
girl.
more pictures. They want to see now they want to see guys.
Get on that.
And then the other thing I put up was about to listen to the show this morning. There should be a cool interview this morning coming up.
Okay.
I didn't say who it was, but
All right, Ronnie. Thank you. There he is. Ronnie's got like 80-something thousand followers.
Dude.
Almost 90,000.
Dude.
Has he passed JD?
Not yet.
Dude.
Not yet. But soon. But soon.
Ron, what? Do you think you've been handling this Benji situation all wrong?
No.
Why does he get under your skin so badly? I mean, he's sort of a comedian. I mean, he's a writer. He's
Okay.
known for his shtick.
Is he a comedian in the hall? Spilling coffee in the hall? Bringing attention to everything he does in the hall? Does it have to be that way? He's supposed to be the comedian in there. Not downstairs with the guards that work here. Not out here in the lobby with the security people that work out here.
But he's a wacky guy, and Howard kind of encourages it.
Okay, fine. Well, no, he doesn't encourage causing trouble. Howard she never asked people to cause trouble around here.
Well,
he's been yelled at for it already by Howard.
Benji likes to mix it up.
Do you hear what I said? Don't start with your dumb shit, because I'm telling you, this is the way it is. And you know it as well as I do.
Oh, man.
Because you're the guy who films it. So don't bullshit me, okay? So enough of your questions.
Wow. I feel like Benji right now.
All right, good.
Benj.
Hey.
So there's obviously a rift between yourself and Ronnie, but I feel that you're misunderstood in your behavior and some of the things you do around here.
Right.
And Ronnie's sort of accusing you of being a troublemaker, a rabble-rouser, you know. Do you feel as though you're interfering with the security of the building and the compound back here? I mean, where's the disconnect between you and Ronnie? Why aren't you guys able to see eye to eye on this?
I don't know. I think Ronnie just sees everything I do as like shtick. I don't even like that word that much, but because I think it's overused. But so he sees everything I do like that, and it irritates him. And I mean, I guess we're just different in that way. Like, I do joke around a lot. I do fuck around, but I find like a lot of times the way he thinks I'm doing something when I'm not. So, and he yells at me about it. And I don't think he should be yelling at me about it.
So because he's seen you act silly in the past, almost everything you do now is a joke or carries some sort of connotation to it that you're trying to upstage him or ruin his hallway, so to speak, or just
yeah.
So where do you go from here? I mean, you guys have to work together,
Well, I'd like to get along with him better. I mean, I like him, and it's like, it's just not nice not to get along with someone, especially like there's no reason for us, not to get along, So I don't know. Hey, what's up, man?
Nothing. I'm not trying to get attention.
All right.
I'm not trying to get on camera.
So are you going to try to curtail the silliness a little bit? Are you going to, when you're around Ronnie, when you first come in the morning, are you going to change anything that you do typically from day to day?
Well, I don't think I was really doing shit anyway, but I mean, I'm not going to try to incite Ronnie, I would like to get along better with him.
Well, when you come in the morning, is it going to change the way you scan your badge? Or
No. Did you understand the scan?
Yeah, you're trying to stamp yourself and prove that you got in at a certain
right. Which I mean, it's like something that like maybe 6 months from now, like if they said like, oh, I just want to be able to prove like every day, I have been in, and that's the deal.
You're covering your bases.
Yeah.
I don't see how anyone could dislike such a lovable guy.
Really?
I think you're great.
Thanks, man.
Always have, always will.
I do too. Thanks.
And just be as silly as you want.
Thank you, man.
I'm just listening to clips from the wrap-up show. I'm just enjoying Ronnie and Scott on the wrap-up show from yesterday where Scott is explaining... Ronnie's explaining, actually, that Scott, during the meet and greet backstage that people paid for, which I can't even believe, but that Scott wanted to eat. He was upset.
He didn't want to do the meet and greet.
No. Well, he was eating. It's funny.
It just seems that he's not ever ready for showtime.
Now, listen along with me. Well, they're talking about how miserable Scott was on that appearance, but he wanted it for the money.
How was Scott during the meet and greet?
He was eating.
I wasn't eating.
And he kept saying to me, how do they send people over here for a meet and greet when I'm eating?
We started eating, and then the people started coming over, so I got up too. And,
Listen, John, they gave me food also, and when the meet and greet started, as soon as the people started coming up and asking us to take pictures and stuff, I gave half of my food away. I gave it to one of the guys that was working on Howard TV.
Yeah. That must have been a funny scene backstage. A meet and greet and Scott gets there and he's like, now, how could they do a meet and greet while I'm eating?
He's a diva.
Yeah, he is. He'd be dangerous if he had a little bit of power.
Any at all. If he was in show business, he'd be the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got to wait. They have to hold people until he finishes eating.
Mm-hmm.
We had that wrap-up show stuff, and you want to talk to Scott.
I guess Scott's mad at what Ronnie said about him at Rapid yesterday. So Ronnie usually sits in there during the show.
Yeah.
Doors closed. Ronnie's not allowed in.
Oh, what did he say?
I think he just said that Scott looked like he was miserable. Scott ran out the door. Scott didn't look like he wanted to be there. Scott wasn't nice to the people.
So he won't let Ronnie in. He's locked the door, bolted himself in.
So funny around here. During the commercials, I get all the entering that goes on around here. And the latest thing is that Scott the engineer, he evidently was offended by what Ronnie had to say about him on the wrap-up show yesterday. So, you know how Ronnie always sits in Scott's studio every day? Well, when he's, being a security guy? Today, the door is locked, and Ronnie's not allowed to sit in there.
He's not allowed in the Black Cloud Diner.
Yeah. It's just funny.
It is so crazy out there. Doing business with Scott must be a dream, because I also talked to Shuli yesterday after the show.
Yeah.
And he told me that, they have, the possibility of getting some other gigs if they can get Scott the money he wants.
Right.
Otherwise,
So
that might
Ronnie's
kill
locked
the
out.
whole deal.
I heard you're locked out today. Like there's a whole cold shoulder going on.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened.
How did you offend him?
What I'm hearing
I
is,
don't even know what I said.
On the wrap-up show, you sent him over, like you said something about him that pissed him off. That's what.
Come on, man.
But I like that he locked the door.
No, I don't. I mean,
Did he say anything to you this morning, or you just locked the door?
No, I went in there and I said to him, "What's going on? Why is the door locked? I mean, 20 years the door's open. This guy's like claustrophobic. He never closes the door.
Right.
Fuck everyone.
So I go in there and he goes, "Oh, there's a lot of noise in the hall today. There's a lot of shit going on." I go, "What? There's nobody. What are you talking about?" And
So he won't be direct with you. This is
He's passive aggressive.
Yeah, so what's his problem? Why don't you lay it out on the table? I mean, I'm supposed to be his friend here. The only friend he's got in the whole place, pretty much. And now he's, what is he offended at?
Supposedly, you said something about him, but...
What did I say?
Gary can't figure it out because he didn't say anything new, really.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he come in here and tell us?
I think that what he might be offended by, Ronnie, is you saying that he didn't want to be there and that he wasn't very nice to the people at the meet and greet.
Well, I'm not the only one who said that. Everybody said that.
Oh, the door's locked.
So why?
Right.
Yeah, I mean.
But Ronnie's the only one who wants to sit in there.
And Ronnie also said Scott was a diva because he called ahead looking for a parking spot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, everybody said that also. I wasn't the only one.
Well, he's pissed off at you.
All right, whatever. Let him be pissed off at me. Let him sulk like a little baby now. I don't care.
How long does he think he's going to sit with the door locked? Is that like
Well,
for the next...
It's not locked.
He's like a woman.
I'm just like is the next 5 years or what?
In other words, if the door is shut, you can't be in there because you have to see what's going on
exactly.
in the hall.
But that's okay. There's two green rooms here. I don't care. I don't need him. He doesn't want to be my friend. That's fine with me. Fuck him. I'm serious. I'm serious because he's acting like a little kid now.
Right. I love it.
It's ridiculous.
So where are you set up?
He's coming in, Howard.
Where were you?
He closes the door. That's how he punishes me.
Now Scott will act
Why don't you
like,
fucking talk to me?
And now Scott
tell me
will
what
act
your
like
problem
that,
is.
Scott's going to act like that's not what's going on. Tell the truth.
The door was closed. It wasn't locked.
Right.
I didn't say that he couldn't sit in there. I didn't.
But you know he can't sit in there.
And he never closes the door.
Would you man up and tell us you closed that door because you don't want Ronnie in there?
I had a couple people, more than a couple, yesterday.
Be honest for once.
Yeah, here's what happened. I had a few people yesterday tell me that was the worst beating you've ever taken. Not from Howard, but from the people that you work with.
Right.
They trashed you all over the place.
Oh, and it never happened to me. Nobody
I don't
ever
trash you.
Nobody. It never happened to me.
I didn't trash you. I didn't say you did a terrible job at the gig. I didn't say you were an awful host. I didn't say you were an asshole because all you wanted was women. I didn't say anything negative towards you.
Okay.
We went there to entertain the people, and that's what I thought I did. But from the word go, I called to find out where you guys were and who I had to talk to.
Who did you talk to on the phone when you called my car? Not
Ganji
me.
answered your phone.
Okay, because I was
Ganji.
driving. I'm not supposed to talk on the phone when I'm driving.
You
correct?
don't have a Bluetooth?
No, I don't.
All right. Well.
Are you angry with him or not?
I'm annoyed at everybody for. I went to do a gig with all of us, with a bunch of people. It wasn't me, but
So today,
it seems like the
you
only
figured
one.
out if you shut the door.
It seems like I'm the only one that anything I said or did got trashed. I called to find out who I got to talk to. Really, I said, "Where are you guys? And who do I got to talk to when I get in?" Because I was the only one there.
Right.
I got there early, and they weren't there. So I wanted to know who I got to deal with. I didn't want to walk into a club and say, "Where am I?"
So what?
So
you're
that's number
saying-
one.
Go ahead.
Number two, when I got there, I did ask for food. Okay, I wanted to eat dinner. I traveled during dinner time, so I wanted to, I didn't expect it to be free. I would have paid for it. I just wanted to get something to eat before everybody showed up. The guy said fine. It took an hour and a half for him to figure out where the food was.
Right.
And by the time they gave it to us, they were letting people in for the meet and greet. I was very nice to everybody that came over. I took pictures. I shook hands.
I guess they thought it was funny that you said, hey,
But
how can they let people back here while I'm eating?
I was eating and meeting and greeting at the same time. I was doing it all, okay? I was very nice. I wasn't rude. I was fine. I was happy to be there. Just because I wasn't, fucking around with these guys.
Right, so your feelings are hurt, and what you've decided to do in retaliation. I'm just trying to
It's no
understand
retaliation.
what's going on. No, come on. You shut the door this morning knowing Ronnie can't be in there if the door is shut, right?
The door's
Be
been
honest.
shut before. It's not the first time.
But today it's shut because you're
It's
angry.
shut when you go into one of your little baby moods. That's when it's shut.
My little baby
That's the
mood.
only time it's shut.
Feelings are hurt.
I
But I like that you shut the door. That's kind of like, that's what I'm after.
I want to know who it was that riled him up. He wasn't upset
Ronnie.
until he... No.
Oh.
He wasn't upset until he went home and people told him how bad his beating was.
Oh, wait a minute. And you're calling
Yeah,
me a
right.
diva? Wait, I should get to you, too. But, I mean, please. I'm a diva, okay? You can't even get into her. I mean, with, her life.
Well,
but
you can shut the door all you want. I don't want to
You're
sit in
depressed one day, and then the next day you're on drugs. I mean, please. I mean,
drugs.
enough of that shit.
So what you're saying is, by shutting the door, let me just understand what's going on. I'm not saying this is wrong.
It's passive-aggressive.
Right. You shut the door. That means Ronnie stay out because Ronnie, needs the door open. So how long do you think you're going to keep the door shut? I mean...
I can keep the door shut as long as I,
Do you think you're going to be doing it for weeks?
The door wasn't locked.
What's your plan in your mind? For forever right now to keep it closed or what?
Not forever, but I mean, they said what they had to say on the air yesterday about me.
Right.
And they had Ganji and Shuli and him, everybody had their say.
See, I like it when it's awkward between these guys. More work gets done.
Yeah, they
I
don't
was
sit
a
around
terrible person. I shouldn't have
kibitzing.
been there. I didn't contribute anything is basically what they said.
Right.
I was an asshole for wanting food, for calling them about parking. I was a total douchebag, according to
So
them.
Ronnie is not your friend anymore, right?
I didn't say he wasn't my friend.
Well, tell me where we at. Where are we at right now? I understand things could get better, but where are you at right now?
I'm like,
vis-a-vis Ronnie?
hey, if that's the way you want to treat me, then fine.
Then the door is getting shut.
The door's closed. I'm doing my job the way I got to do it for the show.
Right.
And that's it. I mean, if you don't like the way I did the show, then... But, I mean, what can I do about it?
Are you ready to do more shows, or will you never do one with them?
Not
again?
if they're gonna fucking just rip me an a-hole every time I do something.
Then what
I
fun is
honestly
having
did
you
a lot of work. I honestly did a lot of preparation to do stuff at that show. I found a lot of music. I had to find. I mean, I put in some time trying to. I wanted to do a good job. The people coming to be entertained.
Ronnie. What I'm hearing from this, the door is shut.
He
to
didn't
you
do anything
indefinitely.
for his gig.
Whatever. Hey, I catch shit here all the time. I mean, I'll get a little crazy and be a little mad or something. But do I shut the door and lock people out and
If
not talk
he
to
says
them?
I'm the only friend that I have here,
Yeah,
if that's a friend,
name the rest of your friends
then
here.
I don't have any friends.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
if that's what a friend
come
does
on,
to another
Scott,
friend,
everybody busts everybody's balls.
Ronnie,
here.
in all fairness,
Listen to the guy who called in yesterday. Guy Stern.
he doesn't
Joe.
work here. He doesn't
Whatever.
do the show with you.
Whatever.
That's a listener. He can bust your balls all you want.
Oh, what
Howard
about
can
him?
bust-
What about him?
We did a show
he busted
together
your balls
to entertain
totally
people.
yesterday. Why aren't you not talking to him? Huh?
Oh, the door's locked to him,
the door's
too.
locked to me. I don't want to go in there anyway.
It's his show. We did a
I
show
know it's his
together to
show.
entertain people, and all you do was rip my fucking asshole open. So he deserves to rip my asshole open.
Why?
It's his show.
Why
He can do
are
whatever
we
the
different
fucking-
than him?
We worked together on a show that
Okay.
we
I wasn't at the show. You were.
And it was fun.
That's
we
what
had a good
Scott said.
time. But obviously, you didn't have a good time, is
No,
what
he
I'm
said
saying.
he did have a good
I had
time.
a fine time until you started ripping me open yesterday on the air. That I did a terrible job, and I wasn't good. And all I did was complain and bitch. I left right after the fucking show, which is not the truth.
Yes, it is.
No, there was no one left in the club
Oh,
when I left.
baloney. There was
Ronnie, do you think Scott's jealous of your new TV deals?
I don't know what he's jealous.
Do you think
I don't
that's
know
what's
if he's
really
jealous.
going on?
I don't know. I don't
Is he
want.
jealous
You
that
know
you're a
what?
superstar?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know anymore.
Let me ask one thing, Scott.
I mean, I sit
What?
and talk to Scott about a lot of personal stuff, And we try to talk. I give him advice. He gives me advice. And now, because
Ronnie, isn't it true?
Because joking around shit.
But Ronnie,
now you're all upset. You're locking me out of your room.
I didn't lock you out anywhere.
Lock me out of your room.
You
like
were
a little
welcome to
kid.
come in. I didn't.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Hey, Ronnie,
I don't have to be in your room.
Ronnie,
okay?
isn't it true he fucked up your gig? He started playing loud sound effects every time he tried
I
to talk.
don't care about that. I didn't
Well,
give a
that's what
crap
it's all about.
that.
I mean, obviously, because I played the hokey, made him do
I'm
the hokey
sorry,
pokey.
we were goofing
and
around on the wrap-up show,
singing Sweet
and you
Carol.
were so serious about it. Like I don't get my balls busted constantly.
But isn't this good promotion for a show, Scott? If they came back and said everything was great, Scott was wonderful, and nothing happened,
do me a
we
favor.
wouldn't be talking about it so that people would be
Robin,
excited for the next one.
Robin, don't make sense because that way he'll open the door and these guys won't get any work done. So Scott, what are you going to do? You going to keep the door shut the rest of the day?
Yeah, maybe.
Good.
All right.
Wow.
There's a lot of times I close the door.
Any chance?
No, he doesn't.
There's a lot.
No, you don't. Only when I'll tell you
there's
when.
a lot
here's
of stuff
here's
going
the
out in the
times
hallway.
when he closes the door.
No.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Number one, when he doesn't want to be bothered by the camera guys. Number two, when there's a lot of people here with big entourages, and we don't want them going in there to look at the monitor.
Right.
Okay, we close the door.
Right. He
Those
doesn't
are the
close it.
two.
You do.
Well, no, he'll do it too because it's too much noise.
A lot of times there's
Which-
noise in there.
which I believe. That's fine. But there's nothing going on out there now.
There,
What when I walked in this morning, there's going to be a lot of noise
a
here today.
lot of commotion today.
Scott is.
He's retaliating against me. That's okay.
That's a retaliation.
Fine.
You know what sucks? You don't have a door to shut on him.
Whatever.
You don't have an office.
I'll shut my mouth on him. That's all.
Good.
I won't talk to him. That's what he wants to be like.
So you're not his friend anymore?
It's like, no, I'm his friend, but he wants to be a baby. It's fine.
I
Fine
can't
with me.
believe that, they share confidences with each other.
We
I
do.
wonder
We
what,
share a lot of shit,
What they've
well,
been
Ronnie,
saying.
like Ronnie goes in and talks to Scott, and Scott talks to Ronnie.
Yeah,
and
we
it's like
do.
it's a
We
boys'
talk a lot.
club, and
Yeah.
About their lives?
and like Ronnie's the only one interested in Scott. Really, Ronnie's right. Ronnie is his only friend. No one wants to go in that room and talk to Scott.
close the door and
first
talk
of all,
to
it's
Scott?
bad luck. Everyone
my
knows that.
God.
And number two, who wants to hear Scott drone on about his misery?
Nobody.
And by the way, Gary was. Everybody tells me how Scott talks about us behind our backs.
Oh, really?
He's like a woman.
That's not true.
Please, the garage guy. Hey, Gary, what'd the garage guy say? You bitch about us even to the garage guy.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
Scott. They don't even know us.
You got to hear this.
I haven't parked in that garage in 3 months.
Yes, I know. Whenever you badmouth us,
for 3 months.
See what you dug up for yourself now by
whenever you
closing the door?
badmouth us, just
See?
know we hear all about your bitching. Go ahead, Gary.
Here's what's so weird, Scott. So you parked at this garage, and it got to be like it was a week straight where the garage guy kept telling me what you had said about us. So I guess
To the garage guy.
But I guess you had left the garage because you found a cheaper place, and he said, "Yeah, you guys, Howard and the guys at Sirius are fucking cheap. I can't get a fucking raise. I got to switch garages because I have no money. Nobody gives a fuck about me. My health benefits went up, and nobody fucking does anything for me." And I'm like, I'm just trying to get out of my car.
You can't even get out of your car. This guy's repeating.
Yeah, he goes, "You should."
I didn't tell the guy to talk to you.
No, I know, but you tell him, and he
I mean,
tells
you're bitching
me.
to the garage guy about your health
You
benefits.
think
and-
he's doing better than you?
Come on.
He told me all of those things, Scott, 5 times.
Why do you stay here if you hate us so much?
I don't hate you. I don't hate you.
So if we're so bad, why do you stay?
I didn't bitch. Did I bitch about you? I didn't bitch about you.
Well, yeah.
Well, you
had
did.
no
He
one
said.
to-
He said that you. If you want to get into it, he said you said Howard and the guys at Sirius don't treat me right.
Right. To the garage guy.
I guess you're locked out now, Gary. Don't try and get in his room.
Yeah, don't
I
come.
think
to
I've
my
been locked out for a long
Don't come
time.
in my studio.
Am I really that bad to you? Am I the guy who went to bat for you at K-Rock when they wanted to fire you? I mean, did I ever tell you that?
Yes, many times.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't told you the real truth. I'm just about to, but I don't want to insult you.
You don't want to insult me.
You
That's
go
all.
around
That's all
bad-mouthing
everybody
me?
does around here. I'm not bad mouthing you.
I put my job on the line for you.
I'm not bad mouthing you.
Holy mackerel, you
Scott, what I would say is that's.
I don't think that.
I told them I'd leave if they got rid of you. How much more loyal could I be to you?
No, I appreciate the loyalty. I've been here
I was
a
not
long.
in a position to boss anyone around.
I've been here a long time. I mean, and if I didn't like working here, I would have left and looked for something else a long time ago. I guess that's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm just saying he's not the only. Like, I hear reports all day long, and I don't even tell Howard about it. The garage guy was sort of funny, was sort of humorous. But I do. You talk a lot.
I mean,
no, I'm saying you talk a lot because
you want to get
angry.
into it. You want to get into it. When I get treated about, you got to sign this paper, or else your pass will be turned off, and you won't be let back in the building. When I'm threatened like that, I don't appreciate being threatened like that.
Well, hey, I didn't threaten you.
No, you
I've
didn't
only
threaten
gotten
me.
bad for you.
You didn't threaten me, but the company threatened me.
So leave.
So I don't like being threatened. No, I don't want to leave. It wasn't you that threatened
But
me.
the badmouth me, the fucking garage guy.
Listen.
The garage guy.
That's what got me riled up. Being told that.
But why would you bitch to a garage guy?
He said, "Why are you leaving?"
What's he?
I
gonna be able
said,
to
"Why?"
do?
He said, "Because I can't afford your rates anymore."
Right.
But it could have stopped there.
Yeah, and you know what? As soon as that happened, I said to him, Scott, I got a friend who's got a garage. I'll get you in real cheap. You'll be paying like a quarter of the price what you're paying. And that wasn't good enough because it was too far a walk.
Well,
but I'm not his friend. I'm not his friend.
He locked you out.
As soon as he said that to me, I said, I'm on the phone. You want me to? I'll fix it. I'll set it up for you.
I did it.
I did it for Will. I did it for Will. I would do it for him. But no, he doesn't want.
No, I said thank you, but
it's too far.
It was a longer walk through a bad neighborhood at 3:00 in the morning. That's
bad neighborhood.
Ask
Who's
Will
going to mug you? You have nothing.
Ask Will about
what's wrong with the neighborhood.
Ask Will about the walk through that neighborhood.
What neighborhood?
It's Times Square. It's like
beautiful.
We work in Times Square.
9th Avenue and 43rd Street.
Okay. What's wrong with it? It's not bad over there.
Is it bad over
there?
there?
You got to walk past a strip club. What's the big deal? You walk past Cheetahs.
He can't walk past the strip club.
I might have to go in.
My wife doesn't like when I walk by a strip club.
Things happen. It's like a magnet to my penis.
I'm a stud. These strippers see me and they want it.
I see Will come there from there every morning now.
But that's good for him. So he's doing what he had to do, and I found a cheaper place.
It still wasn't cheaper than that.
No, it's not as cheap as that, but it's cheaper than what I was paying. So
no criminals are up at that time in the morning.
Yeah, okay.
Seriously.
That would be an ambitious criminal.
Yeah, I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, they're all going to sleep by then.
About 4 in the morning, they ain't around. It's fucking criminals go to bed even. The safest time to be out is 4 in the morning. It's a big deal. You walk by Cheetahs.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I do a club opening, I don't take criticism and get yelled at and laughed at.
I wonder what's going to be the resolution.
What happened?
Like, I wonder when the door is going to
It's a
open.
big deal.
You know, eventually.
He'll just forget.
You know, because Scott will go crazy in there by himself.
Yeah.
Because he kind of needs
and
Ronnie.
he'll need Ronnie.
You know you need Ronnie to talk to. Because you're such a yenta.
I don't need anybody.
Yes, you do. You need Ronnie.
I can just stay in there and do what I got to do and do my work, and I'm fine.
Does Ronnie let you work when he's in there?
I don't bother him.
Yeah,
I talk to him when he wants. What? I talk to you when you want to talk.
You let me work.
Of course, I don't bother him.
I didn't say he bothered
I think
me.
he's too much yentering it. I don't want you in
There's
there.
no yentering.
It's okay.
Leave him alone so he can work.
I don't bother him. I really don't. I sit there and mind my business.
He doesn't start talking?
No, only like if he's not doing anything.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like there's no yentering going on.
There's a lot of yentering.
Yeah, of course.
But not when he's after he's done with everything. Usually.
Yeah.
You know, after
what? I know what
News
he's got
is
to
done,
do.
everything
He's never done with everything. He has plenty to do.
And I'm doing it.
I don't bother him.
Good. I'm glad you locked him out.
Okay.
Keep that fucking door shut.
Fine
I
with
want
me.
that door shut.
Okay.
Here's what I want. You ready what I want
All
now?
right. I said it's okay. I don't care.
Hey, I want the door shut.
Okay.
From now on.
That's good.
In fact, put a second door in and shut that too, in case someone gets through the first one. I like the door shut. That means he's in there working. I'm busy
How
talking
do you know
around.
that?
You won't be able to
that
see
means
if
he's
he's
in there working
working.
if the door's shut? That doesn't mean he's in there working if the
Well,
door's
he ain't
shut.
sitting there talking to you at least.
All right.
And you'll
You know,
stop
maybe
that.
you're right.
Okay.
Maybe the door should be open. I don't know. I'm confused. Open, shut. Anything to get him working. I'm all
always
for.
working.
All right. Well, you work.
I do.
All right. I like all this.
Yeah, you do.
I got to take a break, but is it going to be awkward when you guys go back out? Like Scott's going to go back into his closed door?
Fine with me.
You don't care, right?
That's all right.
Scott, is it going to be awkward for you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm just going back to work.
Right.
I'm not doing anything.
Right. But you are shutting the door on Ronnie.
Hey, if I can keep the door open. It doesn't matter.
No, you can keep it closed. It's all right. No problem.
All right.
No problem.
Wow.
I just didn't want to get interrupted while I was working.
Okay.
Now you're backpedaling.
Nobody will interrupt you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All right, boys.
All right.
You guys gonna walk out together, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'll walk out together.
Scott's not leaving.
All right. I'm leaving.
Scott, don't badmouth me to the garage guy.
I'm not badmouthing you.
I'm a good guy.
I was particularly bad day, I guess.
What day is it?
Well, I know the feeling. Believe me, I started off the show with a bad day
Yeah,
myself.
yeah, you did. I mean, you didn't badmouth to the garage guy, but
no,
you pretty much told everybody else.
Well, what I have to say is important. All right, thank you, Scott.
All right,
tell it to the wall, Scott. Tell it to the wall. All right. That's right. The only one listening to him is the wall. There he is, Scott the engineer. There you go. Bravo, bravo.
Yeah.
Has Scott gone too far this time? I mean, is this?
No, it's because this is how he always is. It's not that he's any worse or better. He gets mad. He talks to a lot of people, and then they all double on back to me. Which I think the bigger point I was trying to tell him was, your issues are one thing, but don't talk to everybody and not expect that they're going to come and tell Howard. People tell Howard everything.
Right, it's going to come back to him.
Yes.
So he's doing what he had to do.
Now, what does Scott do from here? Is he all bark and no bite? Like, he gets pissed off, he yells.
I don't know
We've
what
seen
his
this
deal
before,
is.
you
I don't know.
Is he all bark, no bite, though? Like, is he actually going to leave, or he seems like he bitches all the time, but then never really...
Listen, I sat down and had a conversation with him, and I was like, these are your options, and you can choose to live with him or live without him. And, I mean, I guess it's a nicer way of saying take it or leave it, but, you're given certain options, and you have to figure out how to deal with them. And kicking and screaming isn't necessarily going to get you anywhere. And if you're unhappy with your treatment, you can either say, well, I'm going to deal with this, or fuck it, I'm going to go somewhere else. But to stay and just complain doesn't do you any. You're not doing yourself any favors.
He's got to put up or shut up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, bad-mouthing the people you work for isn't going to make it any better for you. It's not going to get you ahead. It's not going to make people want to help you anymore. So you could say, listen, I'm leaving. But of course, if you have to be ready. If you're going to make a threat, you got to be ready to go on it. But I think sometimes you have to adapt. Everything doesn't always go the way you want it to go, in life or in jobs or in anything.
Ronnie.
Yes.
This is a huge rift between you and Scott. I've never seen you guys.
It's not a rift.
I haven't seen you guys ever be.
It's
this
him being a
far
baby.
apart.
It's not a rift. It's him being a baby. It's like you lock your mom out of your room when she yells at you.
So what's your plan? Just to wait it out? Scott will come around, or is
I don't
this
care.
something that can't be repaired?
Fine. There's 2 green rooms here. It's fine with me.
Yeah, but you guys care about each other. You're actually friends.
Yeah,
aside
well,
from the show.
Obviously I'm not his friend.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
You know what I'm saying?
Scott, are you really that angry with Ronnie? I mean, years and years of friendships down the drain.
I obviously they don't appreciate what I did or what I helped with the show.
But it's only me. But that's okay.
Guy. You can keep your camera pointed at me. Don't worry about him.
I got my own camera.
When you guys come back from this, I mean, you guys have been friends for so long.
Yeah, it's like any relationship, I guess. Married couples argue and then they make up and kiss.
So you're willing to extend the olive branch?
Oh, no. I didn't trash me. He trashed me. Him and his partner Shuli over there, and his other partner Ganji.
What about your relationship with Sirius and management and all the things that you're upset about that you ranted to the parking attendant about? I mean,
what about it?
Do you regret saying any of it?
No.
Because you meant it.
Yeah.
But when you talk like that, it came around and kind of bit you in the ass.
When I get threatened that I won't be let back in the building, that's pretty fucking hurtful. So, I didn't appreciate that. So that's, but that's the way the company does business. So if they got to fire me, they got to fire me. What can I do?
How long does this door stay
If
shut?
they want to do business that way and not tell anybody, then that's, not my problem. That people should know that a company strong-arms its employees, it's not good.
So how long will this door stay shut today?
It'll stay shut as long as I'm working. And that's pretty much all day.
And will that continue for the rest of the week and going forward?
Maybe.
Scott, open up this door and open up your heart. Come on.
Who is this cameraman?
I don't want to see like
cameraman, generic cameraman number 1.
Oh, that's not All right, man.
Bye.
I'll leave you to your vices.
Pleasure doing business with you.
All right.
Bye.